That time, y'all. It's that time for the late night boxing talks. Let the list populate. Post a link for the people on Twitter. Want to join in this boxing talks? Boxing talks. Telling you, man, Twitter is the funniest app. I don't think on no other app you see so many people say so much nonsense than on Twitter. We gonna post this link for the people on Twitter live right now. For the people on Twitter. I was goody Tyrion, was goody Davy John, was goody Tyrell, was goody Tommy Montgomery, was goody Poor Chick, was goody George, was goody Tommy, you know what I'm saying? And yo, man, it's this weekend is revealing. This weekend's pay-per-view numbers, if they do check out, was goody Mr. Dr. Luke, was good Laurent. Was good Russ Pettit in the building, Liam Rockwell all the way from Australia, Andrew 25. This weekend's pay-per-view buys are indicative that the people that wanted to see that fight the most, supposedly, the ones that was asking for it, they had no intention of buying that fight. And I have said that many times, but I'm going to keep saying it until it registers. After Sean Porter fought Errol Spence fans was not asking for Spence versus Crawford. What they was asking for was Crawford versus Porter so that they could end up making a fight, and these pricks don't buy it. They steal it like they steal every other motherfucking thing and then want to argue about pay-per-views they don't buy. You got one guy on Twitter earlier today, he was talking about how, oh yeah, people don't support. You don't fucking support. All of us got receipts. I could pull up the receipt for my pay-per-view purchases like that because they email it to you. This cat gonna pull up some. I'm like, see, this the type of clown shit that goes on between an oversaturated market where you have a pay-per-view or two pay-per-views, at least two in the same month, and these bums, these fake activists that's a bunch of bums that don't buy shit but always got something to say. Like, bro, if you don't buy shit and everything is free because you steal every fucking thing, then shut the fuck up. What you say don't count because you're not going to pay for shit. How you going to give a, I've said it before, how you going to give a product review on a product you stole? How you going to talk about value for money when you don't spend money? It don't make sense. If I tell you the Zone is a good product for your money, you want to know how I know that? Because I'm subscribed. If I tell you ESPN Plus is a good product for your money, you want to know how I know that? Because I'm subscribed. These motherfuckers will be on crack streams all day. Yeah, shit is trash. Man, shut up, man. You don't buy nothing. What's goody, Felipe? What's goody? Pull a check. You know what I mean? So what this weekend's pay-per-view buys indicate to me is that the people who supposedly wanted to see this fight get made the most had no intention of buying it. That's what it showed me because they made the fight. Remember, I was goody Leo, was goody Eson. Remember, after Spence versus Porter, what was Spence's fans asking for? Porter versus Crawford, so that when the fight get made, they don't fucking buy it. This is a prime example of what I'm always saying. These cats you see on Twitter, these cats you see on here on YouTube, they don't represent the paying public, because if they did, the numbers would have been a lot better than just 190,000 if they represented the paying public. But they don't represent the paying public, and it's deceiving because when you're on social media, you see so many of these cats, they always got something to say, but when it's time to pull out their wallet and make a purchase, they don't want to do it, which makes whatever you say irrelevant. If you ain't trying to spend no bread, what you think is irrelevant. What you say is irrelevant. I was goody Willie Lynch, AJJJJ, next level. Yo, look, I'm gonna let Alexis in on the conversation. We gotta talk about this. Before I populate the whole panel, me and Alexis gotta shoot the shit about this. Because this is an area of expertise that we have lots of experiences in. You know what I'm saying? If you are not a consumer of boxing, what you think about boxing, it doesn't matter. You don't represent anything. If all you do is steal pay-per-views, if all you do is watch fights on Fire Stick apps, and you don't actually have Showtime, you don't actually have ESPN, you don't actually have the Zone. Esau, you have to chill in the background for a minute. Me and Alexis gonna shoot the shit. Alexis, talk that shit. Talk that shit.
Yo, bro, what's up, man?
Talk that shit, yo. Talk that shit.
Yo, listen. The numbers were, supposedly disappointing, but one of the things that I believe is evidence of is just how meaningless this shit that Twitter is.
Yes.
All that noise, that back and forth. Because if you were to be on Twitter, you would think this thing sold 3 million pay-per-view buys, right?
No la verdad, no la
You
verdad.
you would think you would think that this thing did extremely well and everybody saw it, but apparently that's not the story. You
Now,
understand?
now, Alexis, let's say this because most people don't realize this. Was the event a flop? It doesn't look like it was a flop. It actually doesn't look like it was a flop. Why? Because ESPN Plus handled it themselves. They didn't have the cable and
Exactly.
they didn't have the cable and satellite company taking a
Ex-
piece of the pie. So that's more profit.
exactly.
That's more profit. Pero di la verdad. Who was asking for that fucking fight? Dile. Look, I love Sean Porter. I've always said that's the only PBC welterweight that I like is Sean Porter. That's the only one. I only like Sean Porter. The rest of them, they can go to hell. But I wasn't asking for that fight. I was asking for Crawford versus Spence.
Fans.
Spence's
Yes.
fans were asking for Crawford versus Porter so that when a fight get made, you broke bum bastards don't fucking buy it.
And not only that, but now you know why Bob Arum, the honorable Bob Arum, why he offered Porter, the $2 million to begin with, right? He said this fight is not what you think it is, you know, and he was proven right. He was proven right. But just getting back to that thing with the because that's what I wanted to talk to you about, and you just brought it up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the power, or that's what ESPN Plus brings to the table for all. You remember I said to you, ESPN Plus has something to offer to all parties, and they don't really need Crawford to sign with them. It facilitates them a revenue stream that's going to be more profitable to everyone because they keep more of the money.
Exactly.
They keep more of the money. I think they get upwards of 75% of the cash that you spend of the buying public.
It is because
Rather,
remember, the cable and satellite companies off top take about 30 to 40%. I've heard as high as, I don't know how true it is,
50,
I've heard as high as 50% of whatever
right?
comes in. But if you take them out of the shit, suddenly 190,000, no, it's not that bad. 190,000 ain't that bad when you think about it, that you don't have that middleman taking that 40% or even that 50% out of whatever gets generated. So while the numbers aren't super great, at the same time, it's not a flop. And that's what's important. It's not a flop. They sold out. They sold out the venue or whatever.
The
They sold
arena.
out. They sold that shit out. And $190,000, I mean 190,000 pay-per-view buys without the middleman is more profit. So
It's about
it's not like it did bad, pero lo que me molesta a mí es que coño, para toda la vaina que hablan esta gente, tanta bulla, tanto peo, tanto complain. No, he gotta fight Porter. No, he gotta fight Porter. So that you same fucking bums don't even buy it.
it's sick. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's sickening. It's sickening. And one could, I know what their argument's going to be, right? Their argument's going to be that, oh, it was a flop because they put it on ESPN Plus instead of making it available to, because everyone's still hooked on that whole old pay-per-view model. They can't break away from it. Just why they complain about the zone. But they have to realize that that is the way of the future, and that is the way of the most money to the people who matter, right?
Well, listen, this is the point that I'm going to make. First, let me read these super chats. Me, because Terrence needed the marquee welterweight names. Otherwise, he's a strong fighter, reigning in a weak division. Liam Rockwell says, put my balls and bias on the line. Cambosos to win. Hey, man, do what you got to do, all right?
Mm.
If he do win, believe you me, I'm going to be
Oh,
laughing for 7 months.
oh, happy day.
Do you know how fucking hard I will laugh? You have no idea. I might be live laughing for 3 months, just dying and laughing at the same time. Crawford was on Porter Way podcast tonight, and he put all the blame on low numbers
What?
on Bob for putting it on an app. And Paul Chick, this is what I'm gonna say. Paul Check, this is what I'm gonna say, right? And Crawford, he could say what he said, but the reality of it is, if the numbers were low, it's not because it was on an app. That's not the truth. The truth is the numbers were low because you're not a pay-per-view attraction. That's one. Two, the market is oversaturated. There was a pay-per-view earlier this month, Canelo, right? How many times are you going to ask the American public to pay per view? How many? There's another pay-per-view next month. Javante Davis, Isaac Cruz. There's another pay-per-view the month after that. Martin versus Ortiz. And it's been this way for months. I could say, as a consumer of boxing, for as long as I've been a consumer of boxing, never in my life have I seen this many pay-per-views every fucking month. Every month. No, pay-per-view was reserved to the big name. Not the big names, because none of y'all is big name. No, you're not. That's what the numbers show us. When you have the people, you have the people. Canelo Alvarez was just out there on pay-per-view. Was he not? Didn't he come close to cracking 1 million bars with a guy that never even been on pay-per-view? So when you got the public, you got the public. The app is not the problem. The problem is, one, I'm sorry to say this because I love Terrence Crawford. It's not a pay-per-view attraction. That's one. Two, there's too many pay-per-views out there. The market is oversaturated. There's only so many times every other week you're going to be able to pull this off and make some money. That's the second thing. The third thing is Americans are fucking deadbeats. Period. The people that supposedly wanted to see this fight, I paid for it. I got my receipt, right? But that's also because I make a lot of fucking money off of boxing. I don't like to bring that up too much, but I do. Which is why I'm not afraid to give back, because it gives me something, I give it something back, right? But the people that supposedly, the public that this fight was geared towards, those is the degenerate bums that did not buy this fight. The people that supposedly wanted you to have it. I said it over a year ago. I don't really think it's necessary for Crawford to fight Porter, because that is to satisfy the demands of a public that does not pay for boxing. Now, if they paid for boxing, well, that'd be different. But they don't pay for boxing, so don't nobody give a fuck what y'all think. It could be, you could have channels on YouTube, 50,000 subscribers, 60,000, 100,000. Unless that's 200,000 people that pay for boxing, all of y'all don't count. You don't count. You don't count. Unless you either go to the fight and buy a ticket, or pay for the subscriptions, pay for the Showtime, pay for the pay-per-view, pay for the ESPN Plus, the pay-per-view, the DAZN, what have you, the Fight TV, what have you. If you don't pay for none of this, you don't count. It's that simple. It's like fucking walking in a store and stealing some shit, then giving a product review. You can't give a product review because you didn't buy the product. You can't talk about value for money because you don't spend no money. Chant the shit,
Yeah,
Alexis. Chant the shit.
well, this is true. I just wanted something that you may find debatable,
Go
right?
ahead.
The
Go ahead.
numbers on Canelo may not have been what they were reported.
I know they were. The other number is 6.
Oh, 6? All right.
Look. I've
So,
spoken to 2 people. I've spoken to 2 people. I've been given 2 numbers. One is 5. One is 6. Either
right.
one means the same thing to me. Javante Davis didn't do 215,000 pay-per-views. The
No,
number I was told was 170,000. So
exactly.
500,000 versus 170,000, it still means the same thing. You don't belong on pay-per-view.
Exactly.
You don't.
Exactly. And from the Javante Davis's numbers, they only kept like 50% of that, or
Of
whatever
course,
it is.
because of the cable and satellite company. Because of the cable and satellite. They have the middleman.
Exactly, exactly. The point of you were saying something about the the 40 million. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so the PBC along with Showtime at 500,000, and remember that I'm gonna call you the carpet to this, right?
Okay.
Okay, so you've made a lot of of an issue. I mean, well, not just you, everyone, because the Porter, no, the Fury Wilder 2 was reported as a flop, even though it sold 875,000.
Oh yeah, that's
It's
correct.
considered a flop. It didn't cover the money put out. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically what the argument is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, or what the facts are. So at 875 didn't cover the guaranteed purses of $30 million a piece, I believe it was, for each fighter. That's 60. Canelo's, it was 40 and 10, which is 50, and they didn't cover even at 800,000. That's 50 million. They didn't go. They definitely didn't go over 800,000. My issue is, why is one reported as such a flop and the other reported as this, you know, this
I'll tell you.
great
I can tell
achievement?
you why. I can tell you why, Alexis. And this is
Go
one
ahead.
thing that I haven't. This is one thing that I haven't got to say. Caleb didn't get $10 million, bro. You honestly
Oh,
think Al gave him 10? You think that? I'll tell you
mm,
what. I'll tell you what.
mm,
Adrian
mm,
Broner. Adrian Broner is not on Instagram with that post still up because Al Heyman is giving these guys that money. Remember
mm,
what he said? I want my money. I don't want to talk to you. I want my money. What I
mm,
believe, and shout out to Drew because Drew really rounded out the vision for me that now I see what he's doing. He's likely taking these guys' purses or a portion of them and reinvesting them in the fucking company. They're not getting all their money. I believe
mm.
Canelo got his 40 mil. I believe that.
Oh,
And
definitely, he's gonna do that.
he's going to do that. But I don't
He's
believe
gonna
that
do that.
I don't believe that Caleb got 10 because you the son. You the hoe that's on the track. That's what you are to him. He pimping you. Yeah, it's Caleb gonna get Caleb ain't get 10, bro. You wildin'. Why you think Broner was mad after the Pacquiao fight? Why you think Broner was mad? Because he ain't get all his money. So
Wow.
what I see is between what it did domestically and foreign broadcast rights, which could be as simple as $1 million to a network, because that's how Joshua versus Klitschko was. Showtime bought the rights for $1 million to show it in America. HBO another $1 million, so that's $2 million right there, not counting whatever it did on pay-per-view domestically in the UK. It likely didn't flop. I don't think. I don't think because of foreign broadcast rights, and it did well in the domestic American market. But it wasn't as big a success as they let on. You saw Leonard Ellaby patting Stefan Espinoza on the back. Like, bro, ain't nobody buy that shit because of him. They bought it because of Canelo. What you think? Motherfuckers was at home. Yeah, Stephen Espinoza. I gotta buy
Yeah,
this.
he knows how to promote. He knows how to do that, and I think that's that. Unfortunately, that might be the assumption that Crawford may be under. He may be thinking that they must be doing something right, that Espinosa's got something because it's I don't know, promoted to the masses or
Look, he's a fighter. He's a fighter, and I respect that he's a fighter, and he's not gonna know all of this. I respect that. I understand that, and I don't even expect most boxing fans to understand all of this.
what we're talking about. Yeah,
I don't. But at the end of the day, the fight didn't do big numbers because, unfortunately, Crawford, you don't have that big a fan base, and neither does Errol. That's a lie, also. He doesn't have a big
exactly,
fan base. Who
exactly.
I
He's
can't
a
stop a
local kid.
motherfucker in the street. I can't stop a motherfucker in the street and he know who Errol Spence is. You wildin'. When I was a
He's a
child,
local.
I could stop anybody and ask them about Mike Tyson, and they knew who
Mm,
Mike Tyson was. I could stop
mm,
anybody. Yeah, they know Evander
mm,
Holyfield. They know Mike
mm.
Tyson. They knew Floyd.
Foreman,
They knew
Floyd,
them in
Pacquiao.
in the streets, in the barber shops, in the corners, in the corner stores. They knew them guys. They don't know you. They don't know Errol. You think motherfuckers is real? Yo, look, dog. I done been to mad barber shops. Motherfuckers is not sitting around talking about Keith Thurman. I'm just keeping it real. Go to what? Yo, you still in New York? Go to Washington Heights. Sit in the barber shop and count on one hand how many times Keith Thurman come up, or
Oh my
Javante
god.
Davis. Go to the Heights. Go to Harlem. Go to any barber shop and listen. Don't say nothing. Wait for your haircut. Listen. How many times these cats come up? But when
At best,
Oscar and Felix was gonna fight, you
boom,
could not go to a barber shop and them
boom,
motherfuckers don't come up. You
boom.
couldn't.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Those are all local attractions. Crawford proved that. Who bought the tickets over at in Nevada last weekend? Most of all his people. You saw who was there. You saw the crowd. They big rush of dudes from Nebraska came down. Errol Spence in Texas. You dig? You can't even say Keith Thurman. Oh, but Javante Davis in around the urban communities of Atlanta or DC.
Yeah, but the other shit is too. You know what the other shit with they tickets is? Like, look at what happened the night of Pacquiao Ugas. I was sent a live video of how they paper the house. They promoted two guys that had
You were
nosebleed
sent a
seats.
video of that.
I was sent a video with that. Two guys that had no seats in the nosebleeds was pushed up front. They were promoted to better seats because at that point they was just trying to fill the seats. At
Oh
that
my
point,
goodness.
they was just
Oh
trying
my
to get.
goodness.
They was just trying to get people in there at that point. Ask Rick Glacier. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Ask Rick Glacier. He'll tell you they paper the house. He'll tell you in a heartbeat. Like, yeah, they don't sell all them tickets. At least on average, 1,000 tickets get comped. Fuck out of
Mm,
here. All that shit that you see out here is smoke and mirrors. All that
mm.
shit. It's
Not
all
all that
smoking.
glitters is gold, man.
Now let me read these super chats. James Jackson says none of these guys are pay-per-view stars outside of Canelo. And you know what, James? That's the way it was in the past. It was only one pay-per-view star. One time it was Mike, then it became Roy. Then you got the Oscar and Felix, but Oscar was a cash cow. He was a cash cow. He was. And you have Floyd. You have man. It was never more than one or two guys popping up on pay-per-view on a regular basis. To keep it real with you, it wasn't like this. Look at the schedule that we on. Canelo was on pay-per-view earlier this month. Then Crawford's on pay-per-view at the end of the month. Then Javante Davis is on pay-per-view. Clarissa Shields is on pay-per-view next month. It's wild out here. Then the month after that, Ortiz versus Martin. You think the paying public is demanding to see Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin? It's no wonder ain't nobody getting money out here. And it's really a lot of people not gonna like this part of it. These fighters want too much money. The promoter's not gonna give them that. The networks aren't gonna give them that because they know they're not good for it. So what do? They stick them on pay-per-view, hoping that me and you will give them that money because they don't want to put it up themselves. The demands didn't used to be big. Caleb Plant, $10 million. My ass, my motherfucking ass. Mikey Garcia, $7 million for Jesse Vargas? You're crazy. The game got to change because that's why boxing is dwindling in America. Willie Lynch says, while we are on the subject, why are these companies forcing boxing fans to shell out money they don't have to keep up with the sport they love? They can't be making that much off the pay-per-views these days, so why keep it going? Because they save their own money trying to rely on me and you. See, if fighter A wants $7 million for the fight, they're going to tell him, hey, suck our dick 7 million times because we're not giving you that. What we can do is we can give you 2, and the other 5 you want, let it come from the pay-per-view. And then they put them out there, and they don't get it. They don't get it because motherfuckers wasn't asking for that fight. But that's what's going on. Why you think Ruiz versus Areola ended up on pay-per-view? There wasn't no goddamn demand for that fight.
There's another part though that that gentleman, I'd like to tell that gentleman, that Willie Lynch guy. For example, in the case of ESPN, right? The reason why they consider boxing, they have some value, or they give boxing some value, is because it is the cheapest way of filling time.
Yes.
Okay, and they can get, if they can get 1 million, and I'm not talking about the pay-per-views and stuff like that. I'm talking about just regular ESPN. If they can get 1 million viewers or 1.5 million views for a fight, that is comparable to them putting on a baseball game that's only locally a local attraction. The difference is that they paid about $60 million for that baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And for boxing, for that particular event, they may be paid for. So they're getting their bang for the buck. That's just something to consider. So continue.
Now let's read the super chats. Don Ricardo says De La Hoya versus Trinidad, Pacquiao versus Morales. Those were pay-per-views, not Tank versus Cruz. These new pay-per-view standards are a joke, and I agree. There's no quality control. Who in their right mind thinks that Americans want to pay for Ortiz versus Martin? What logic goes into that? And I know what the logic is. Ortiz probably want like 2 million, and he probably want like 1 million. Charles Martin. And the network looking at him like, y'all is not even $1 million fighters. Like, y'all, the both of y'all is not 7-figure fighters. You're not. I'm sorry, but you're not. So what we'll do, we'll give you a nominal amount, and you can hope to make the rest on pay-per-view because we're not going to give it to you. We're not going to pour it down the drain. If you have fans, let them pay you. That's what's going on. The demands are too high from guys that don't even have fans. Be real. Luis Ortiz has fans. Paying customer. He has fans. Stop. Charles Martin has fans. Stop. I'm not talking about sitting there on social media licking ass and brown. Fuck that. If you a fan, you support, you buy, you pay for the fight. If you a fan. Now, the shit y'all, these motherfuckers, you just sitting on social media hoping that somebody like your fucking comment. You're not a fan of shit. You don't support shit. You don't represent shit because you're not paying no bread. Cash rule everything around me. You ever heard that before? If you ain't shelling out no bread to support none of these fighters, guess what? You're not a fan. You're not a fan. If you ain't paying your DAZN monthly or annually, like me, or ESPN, like me, or Showtime like me, you're not a fan of shit. You sitting there stealing streams on the internet, you're a bum. You're a bum. You should be ashamed of yourself. The LDBC clan don't understand that boxing is a worldwide sport, and Canelo and Triple G fights are broadcasted over 100+ countries, and that, my friends, is where the money is these days. Foreign revenue.
Shout out to Russ Petty.
Foreign revenue, because we can see the Americans are not buying American fighters. They're not. Like Crawford is a homegrown hero, but these Americans, these cats you see on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, they got so many takes on boxing, so many boxing opinions. Oh my God! But where are they when it's time to buy the fight? You got guys, they got 100,000 followers on Instagram, 500,000 followers. Can you turn that into 500,000 pay-per-view buys, please? Because that's when it counts.
Exactly.
Ryan Garcia has millions of followers.
Exactly. Yes.
Does he have millions of pay-per-view buys?
We don't know.
Who's following them? Girls that have training bras. That's who's now. Unless they buy pay-per-views, if they buy pay-per-views, then I. But if they ain't buying pay-per-views, if they ain't subscribing to the Zone or whatever, then it doesn't count. Because like to me, it's like, yo, have you ever at least sold, nicks and dimes, right? Have you ever had to flip a O, a couple of O's? You ever had to flip a pound of weed, right? Then you understand that ain't shit free. And it's like these cats is thinking that nothing is free, bro. You wondering why? Oh, Bob not promoting them right. Bob is not the problem. You're the problem. You're the problem.
Just one thing on that Ryan Garcia subject, though, which I've intimated to you before. Ryan Garcia, when you bring up the subject of Ryan Garcia, he has the duality of having these. He is an appeal to the same crowd that follows the YouTubers. So you can, as the YouTubers themselves have proven, because this is how everybody has to remember how this started. It started because these two YouTubers went to YouTube and put on an event for $10 a fight and sold a lot of fucking sales.
Ryan's issue is that he has the potential, but he's not as charismatic an athlete. That's the thing. He has all the other ingredients except the substance. You need to be out there fighting. Like, look, Oscar, the older I get, the more I appreciate who Oscar was. Because Oscar could have copped out and be like, man, fuck boxing. I'm going on General Hospital. I'm going on Days of Our Lives because I got the looks. I got the looks to do that. I don't need to be out here getting into fist fights and shit. But nah, he was a fighter, bro. Through and through. Pretty boy and all. Fishnets and all. He was a fighter. He fought. All right? Ryan is not showing me that. You got nerves over Javier Fortuna? Tuna? In the water? Javier Fortuna? Like, you wet? No, you not cut from, as strange as it might sound, and I made a vow a long time ago that I'm gonna hate Oscar till the day I die because he beat Chavez. But the more old I get, the more I respect him because he could have copped out. He didn't have to fight Felix Trinidad. If it was today, what's the modern equivalent of De La Hoya versus Trinidad? Spence and Crawford. What's the difference? Oscar had to fight. Oscar had to fight. He had it. And he lost it, right? He didn't let it destroy him. He kept fighting. These cats. Now, on the A side, I'm going to go to my ranch. And I'm going to grow these chickens and some corn seed, cornmeal. And that's your idol. That is what an idol is in 2021. A dude like that. I tell a cat, yo, look, the dude retina got detached while he was wearing headgear. If you take the headgear off and punch him the same way, what's going to happen to him? and they can't see the forest for the. Nah, man, Spence is all right. You fucking idiot. Just wait, wait, because one thing your generation doesn't have that mine's has is patience. All I gotta do is wait for you to be wrong. I'm not gonna keep arguing with you. Just wait. That's all I gotta do. Cause he ain't what you think he is, and I've been saying that for a minute. I've been saying that. I said Crawford was gonna stop Porter a minute ago, dog. Before, he Porter too strong. Hey, I love Sean Porter, dog. Really, I do. But I've been saying, yeah, he get stopped, man. They not cut from that Crawford cloth, B. It's different out here.
It turned out to be the same fight as Felix Diaz. Really?
What did I now, Alexis? I swear to God, and it's not that I'm tooting
And
my
I
own
know you
horn.
said that.
Said it's gonna be akin to the Felix Diaz fight. Pivot, shift, hook on a turn. Pivot, shift. Well, I'm not gonna stand right here and wait for you to come at me. I'm gonna shift. Hook on a turn or uppercut. That's what he did. I had an argument with some fucking moron earlier today. Dude trying to tell me, I said, look, Errol got hit 172 times by Sean Porter. Crawford only got hit 79. So we see who has defense. We see. Because you're not going to tell me you let him hit you that much for no fucking reason. He hit you that much because you couldn't get away from him. Crawford, Bull and Matador all night. Bull and Matador. He too good for that. Footwork, B. Got the feet. I'm a shift. Why I'm going to stand here and wait for you to hit me? I'm a shift. And I'm going to catch you on a turn. So when your head come around, the hook be there. Common sense shit. Nah, Spence fan. No, because the ratio, because the connect. I want to know what barbershop do people talk like that? No, because the connect percentage of the ratio, the connect percentage of the rate of the ratio and the frequency of the gigahertz. Nobody talks like that, bro. If a dude say, yo, who got hit more? It's Errol. How you know? 172 connects. Did you see of course I seen the fight. I seen him get rocked to the temple and almost go down. Cats is weird out here, B. Now I'm gonna let Troy in here, let Eson in here, and we gonna argue, goddammit. Willie Lynch says, here's a hot take. Fighters would make more money doing live shows instead of relying on promotional companies to generate interest through word of mouth. Willie Lynch says, who needs TV when you have the... That's where we at. I'm glad you said that, Willie, because that is where we at. I don't watch TV like that. I watch cat videos of cats fighting on rooftops. Literally. I watch videos of guys restoring old guns. I don't watch TV like that. TV is a thing of the past. Like Alexa said earlier, apps of the future. Now, y'all tell me, floor is open. You know what I'm saying? Floor is open. When you see a number like that, let me go to Leo. When you saw that the pay-per-view only did 190,000 buys, was that what you expected?
No, not at all.
What did you expect?
I expected 250, more or less, but not even 200. No, I didn't expect that.
I'm gonna go to Eson. Eson, was that the number that you was expecting? Eson fell asleep.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, that's the number you was expecting.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Eson? What do you see for Crawford now that he's a free agent? He's not with Top Rank anymore. What happens now?
Stay free. Or I don't know.
Troy, been a long time, Troy. Been a long time. Troy, he's not with Top Rank. Somebody mic is wilding. Troy, he's not with Top Rank anymore, but the numbers still ain't nothing to write home about. What happens?
He gets to move how he wants to move. I mean, I don't think he's gonna. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I don't think he's gonna chase oh boy, Spence. I think he's gonna just make moves how he has to make moves. I mean, if Spence is not gonna answer his calls, number one, because when they had him up on the big screen, you saw his face, which clearly
Mm-hmm.
says I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the youngsters out there. There's Ortiz, there's Ennis. They
Mm-hmm.
both have a buzz right now. I would go the route of Ortiz next because they have a common opponent in Kavaliauskas, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then after I do take care of that, then then you can step to and Ennis because he's a free agent, and y'all can do what you do there,
So
right?
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you a direct question. It's
You
safe to
do that.
say, in your opinion, the Spence fight will never happen.
Just like listen, I stated years ago that Wilder and Joshua is this era's Bull and Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Crawford and Spence will never happen. If it was gonna happen, it would have happened already. It's never going to happen. How old is this man right here? 34, 35?
He 30 fucking four, bro.
How old is Spence?
Spence is in his 30s too. I think he like 30, 31.
Okay, well there you have it. The fight is never going to happen, and there's always going to be a reason from the others. Listen to me. I'm not picking on the PBC, but everything plays out the same in fights like this. Cross the street. Okay, you tell him to get a belt. He got a belt. Kevin Farmer and Tank got a belt. No fight. You tell him to get a belt. Crawford and Spence. Okay, he got a belt. No fight. Now he's a free agent. Now, what's your excuse now?
It's always going exactly because at this point there are no sides of the street for Crawford. He's
There was never
floating
any
above,
signs of the street to begin with.
and I know that, but it's just that was everyone's argument. Why he re-signed the top rank? What difference does it make? You either want the fight or you don't. Doesn't make a difference if he signed the top rank. But now he's not on anybody's side of the street. He's above the street. He's floating over the street. Go where he wants. Bet you the fight still don't happen. I
I tell
bet
you
you.
what, man, as a fan, I am sick of the pussified boxing talk. I'm sick of the vagina monologues that go on. I just want to see fights. And the truth is, you could knock Alvarez all you want, right? All you have to do is those names you pull out your ass. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying people in general, right?
Mhm.
The Charlos, the Boo Boos, and the David Benavides. You see Alvarez is moving in his career and doing what he's doing. What are they doing in theirs?
Mm.
End of
Mm.
discussion.
End of discussion. Because they was on pay-per-view last year. I bought it. I thought it was a good card. I bought it. Charlo Derevyanchenko and Charlo versus Rosario for 3 alphabet titles and lineal status in the junior middleweight division. I bought the goddamn fight. But where was all these bleeding hearts? Where was the activists? Where was the activism? Only 100,000 pay-per-view buys? Only? That's it?
77.
You know what disturbs me though,
Go ahead. Go ahead,
in
Battle.
a sense, the thing is when it came to Crawford, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I thought he was gonna do a little bit more. Me personally, even though like we talk about this all the time, there's just some fighters that's just not worth the being pay per view. Well, 95% of fighters, if we're being honest. Maybe Ryan Garcia can be the exception if he comes back, but it's just Canelo for now. The thing is, or unless you're counting UK fighters because they actually for their fights. But the thing is, I think when it comes to Crawford, Crawford did the right thing because I'll never forget when people was going on ragging about Spence's pay-per-view numbers. When his numbers started to dip, they was like, oh, well, he's fighting on pay-per-view again. He's fighting Danny Garcia. Oh, he's fighting Mikey Garcia. There was like, okay, well, let me say that back. When he's fighting Danny Garcia, and then after that, he's fighting Sean Porter. Even when his numbers started to dip, he stayed on pay-per-view. The thing about Crawford, when his numbers did bad against Victor Postol, he stopped, went to ESPN, wasn't pay-per-view. And then finally when he gets back on pay-per-view, it's still not good enough. It's kind of like how can you really win? Like the guy did numbers
Well,
on free
that's the
TV.
battle. You said it already. You said it just now. Pay-per-view is not for everyone, and everyone cannot aspire to that. Pay-per-view is not for everyone.
I
Literally.
agree. And I can tell
Crawford,
you,
the only fight involving Crawford and Spence that belongs on pay-per-view is them versus each other and no one else. Them versus each other. That's it. And let the winner of that fight be the cash cow. But y'all let that motherfucker go stale. That was the fight that would have crowned a pay-per-view attraction.
Hey, Ring, could
I
I
can
ask
tell
you a
you
question?
destroyed paper. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Ring,
Yeah,
are you buying Ortiz versus Charles Martin?
No, bro, no. I mean, like, look, and
Thank you.
I'm a
Thank
big,
you.
I'm a
Thank
big
you.
support. Like, you know, Jay, I'll
Uh-huh.
buy some shit. I'll buy
Yeah.
some shit.
That
I
is
fucking
not
bought
that
you-
is not a pay-per-view worthy fight.
That's not a pay-per-view worthy fight, and I cannot encourage them to keep doing that silly ass shit.
And
Like, bro,
this is the problem with
There's a
the
fight
see,
there that I would
they
like to
constantly
see, though.
give us fights that we do not want to see. I don't know why they keep doing this. It's like, I mean, it's like they just don't learn from their mistakes. They really don't. I mean, that's gonna flop. I'm telling you now,
well,
that pay-per-view's gonna flop. That ain't selling. That ain't
How
gonna
much
sell.
is it?
they think, I believe the price point is less than $70. I believe it's less than that, but even still,
It's $39.
what they don't understand is if you run in a business, any business that is a business is all about supply and demand. Whereas you guys don't meet the demand, if there even is a fucking demand, you don't meet it. You keep trying to give people substitutes. Ortiz versus Dillian White would have made money, but y'all didn't let him go over there and get that bread. That's
In the
that's
UK.
just the truth.
Mhm.
That's just the
Yeah.
truth. That shit would have made money. Nah, y'all want to keep him over here. Bro, nobody fuck with him over here. What are you not understanding? Nobody fuck with him like that over here. Why? The bane that all Cuban fighters have is it ain't that many Cubans in America, so the fighters don't be having that big a following. You know what I mean? It ain't like the Puerto Rican following. It ain't like the Mexican following. They got mad fighters. They got mad fans. But it's only a couple of Cubans, and most of them is in Florida.
But why is the
because
segregation?
guys, let's say like it was Andy Ruiz versus the Charles Martin or Luis Ortiz.
No, still not a paper. That's a Friday night fight, just like this fight is a Friday night
agree.
fight.
I agree.
Andy can't fill shit to a toilet. No.
Honestly, they're only, if I'm being completely honest, most like I said, 95. No, I'm gonna go further. 99% of fighters right now are not pay-per-view worthy unless you're just counting some UK how do I put this? Unless you're counting the guys that are really popular in the UK. If you're talking about anything else, almost everything, in my opinion, just won't do all that well. Like unless we're speaking like Canelo, because how much did Gervonta Davis make how much did he
Listen,
make?
the reported buys were, it'll top out at 215. But like I said, the number I was given was it did 170,000. That's what it
Okay.
did.
Okay, so
170,000.
Crawford did more than him, which is a pretty big dip because apparently with the guy Leo, what was it, 400?
But bro, no, it wasn't 400. It was 225 with Leo. And
Oh
and
my
to come
God,
to,
I got misleading
what they try
information
to
then.
say, what they try to
I got
say, like the
misleading
Barrios
information.
pay-per-view did more than the Cruz fight.
and that's what I was going to say. That
Yeah.
look, they lied. This
I
is what
highly
happened,
doubt it.
battle. No, this is what happened, battle. Somebody mute their mic because it's too much background noise. They lied about the Santa Cruz numbers, and they told on themselves because first they said that Santa Cruz did 225. Then he fights Barrios, and they say, the Barrios pay-per-view is outperforming the Santa Cruz pay-per-view, except the Barrios pay-per-view is supposed to stop at 215. But you said this one did 225. If this one is outperforming that one, that means that pay-per-view didn't do 225, did it? It did less than that because Leo don't have fans. When the fuck was Leo popping? Somebody tell me. When the fuck was Leo Morales? When was this?
I'm gonna be fair. Julius. He had a decent amount of fans, but
No,
I don't think it would.
No, he didn't.
When he was fighting in a sense regularly, people were tuning into his fights. It's just that I don't know if it was enough to justify the numbers.
Look. If they tuning in, that's one thing, right? They watching the shit at home. That's cool. But you didn't get to that point. It's like if I do 1 million views on Fox tomorrow, right? Does me doing 1 million views on Fox make me a pay-per-view star?
Yeah, that's what I
No,
said. It
no.
doesn't correlate. Like you remember when we had this discussion with Sean Porter. Sean
Mhm.
Porter did good numbers on free TV, but almost I mean, he never fought pay-per-view because I'm pretty sure they just knew that wasn't in the cards. Or you remember when I told you like Peter Quillen, he fought Jay Leon Love, and what is that?
Who kid screaming?
That's my kids, man. They ain't over there being crazy for no reason.
I'm thinking somebody getting slaughtered or something. Oh, God.
That's them looking at the pay-per-view bars. They can't believe it.
I can tell you who rules pay-per-view for everybody, but Julius is not gonna like it. But go ahead. I can tell you.
Do you know Jay Leon Love and
say that. You can't say that because
Yes,
that
I
same
can.
dude. Listen, you know why you can't say that? Because that
Go ahead,
same
Julius.
dude was on pay-per-view this year, and guess what? It's
I'm
sold.
gonna prove it to you, Julius.
It's sold. It's
you talking about
sold,
Sean?
Troy.
You talking about Sean Porter?
Oh my Floyd.
No. Listen. I'm gonna prove it to you right here. The only reason he sold because there was no one else around. There was no heavyweight division, and there was no other fighter around. The only reason he sells with the Logans and the
Can't say that.
and
You can't
whole
say that.
dude, let me
Say
finish.
that.
Let me finish, brother. Let me finish.
All right.
Okay. The only reason he sells is because the people that he gets in the ring with have a built-in fan base already. He didn't sell with Berto, did he?
Now wait.
Did he sell with Berto?
Now Troy, hold on. This is what I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead, man.
So okay. So Logan, he fought Logan on pay-per-view, right? That did 1 million.
Built-in fan base.
Hold on. Now I'm not disagreeing with you. He has it down to a science, but his numbers were better than Jake's numbers. Jake was on pay-per-view. Jake only did 5.
He went to Japan. Did he sell?
I can't tell you. No, wait a minute. I can't tell you yes or no about the Japan numbers because they didn't have a U.S. broadcast partner. They didn't have a U.S. broadcast partner.
It doesn't matter. If you a seller, you a seller.
But it was
correct?
People at the fight.
Could I say how much?
That guy was Japanese and he had a following.
Could I say how much of a genius Floyd is right quick? Floyd is so much of a genius that does everybody remember during the promo he told everybody that it was a legalized bank robbery, and they still over 1 million people still bought the fight.
I mean, I think what it is, it's kind of the people. But you remember when we had this conversation of like, what is the biggest seller point behind this fight? It's kind of, I just want to be in the know. I don't want to be the person on Saturday that just didn't watch the fight because I know it's not competitive, but I just wanted to be the person to say I watched the fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the biggest selling point because they know it's not competitive, but
it's got the circus, it's got the sideshow appeal to it. That's what it is.
Let me read these 2 super chats. With ESPN Plus, DAZN, Fight TV, I can watch fights anywhere on my iPad. Even bars aren't showing fights. I can watch on the fucking toilet if I want. That's where we at. We in the future. You take your fights with you in the future. Don Ricardo says for each. But do you think Crawford versus Taylor would happen? See Taylor moving for Crawford before Spence would move. Man up 2, man Crawford. This is the thing. Crawford didn't seem all that interested when they asked him about Josh, and I noticed it. It was disappointing because they actually asked him about Josh. And he was like, well, Josh about to fight Catterall. He ain't even move up yet. He did not sound motivated by that fight like it's a legitimate option.
Why would he? Why would he?
I mean, because he has a skate. Look, we all know Spencer's not going to fight him. So if Spencer's not going to fight you, right? Who are you going to fight? He talking about some Keith Thurman. Man, Keith Thurman ain't going to fight you.
I gave you 2 names, brother. I gave you 2 young names, and they undefeated.
You think Josh Taylor might be his next fight, Ray? You about Josh Taylor?
Next?
That might be an option?
Nah.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay, hold up, everybody. Listen to this, right? You Crawford, and this man is moving up. So let's just say you beat him and you stop him. They'll say, okay, he beat somebody smaller. Let's say you lose to him. Okay, he lost to somebody smaller. What are the benefits of beating Josh Taylor?
Well,
The money.
actually, no, wait.
Got it.
They was standing next, bro. Troy, they was standing next to each other this week, bro. Ahead of this, I mean, last week ahead of the fight. Josh is bigger than Crawford, bro.
He's naturally
Okay.
bigger too. I'm hearing he walks around at
Okay,
like
but listen,
180.
I seen
Josh Taylor. I'm sorry, Josh Taylor's an undisputed 140 champion.
I know
He's
what
not a
you
well.
said. Troy,
Yeah.
we talking as people that watch a lot of boxing. I'm telling you the visual, right? For the casual fan,
Mhm.
they not gonna see, yeah, he from one. They gonna see, yo, he taller than Crawford. He taller than Crawford, and when he walking around at his walk around weight, he look bigger than Crawford.
Wait,
And most
wait.
fans are not very intellectually are not very bright either. They gonna say now he beating smaller men, he ducking spins. Come on, man, it ain't
No,
gonna
no,
work
no,
out.
no, 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 no. Look, if we are talking about Crawford versus Taylor, maybe it doesn't depend on Crawford because Taylor is WBO champion at light welterweight, and he can force a mandatory position.
That's how Usyk did it. That's how Usyk did it, Troy.
Exactly.
That's how Crawford did it too with Jeff Horn as well.
Yep.
Big, see, you see, it could happen.
Exactly.
But Crawford himself, I'm just saying, when I seen the interview ahead of the Porter fight, Crawford just didn't seem all that motivated by the shit. But to
Julius,
Leo's point, which is true, he may not leave you with a choice, Crawford. If he wants you, he can get you, and you
No,
gonna
but
be
why would he be motivated? No one's answered me yet. Why would Crawford be motivated?
money.
The money.
That fight would be huge in the UK.
It's
How
a
much
good
money
fight.
can he
Huge
get
money.
Well,
fighting him?
you want to know something funny? You want to know
Crawford
something
ain't
funny?
going over there.
This
Crawford
fight,
is not going over there to fight him.
this fight isn't hard to sell. If anything, all they have to do is look at it like this: Crawford, you're basically fighting yourself. Isn't Josh Taylor what you was when you was trying to go for broke at welterweight? A
That
lot of
doesn't
people.
mean want to buy nothing.
Hey,
Why
listen,
not?
not in the US, but he can sell numbers in the UK.
Hey, Julius.
Yeah.
Listen, just two things because my mic is cracking. I believe that Spence is going to fight Crawford. I believe he's going to fight Crawford because of the precarious position he's in. If you want to, if you and I'm telling you, people don't agree with me. I believe he's in a position where he needs to cash himself out. He's not the same fighter he used to be. Who would you rather lose to? Those Mandos that are coming up on your ass, or the biggest payday of your career? That's number one. Number two, why the ESPN is still viable to him is for the simple reason that because of these pay-per-view numbers, because the PBC has the real pay-per-view numbers, because they know what their product performs. But these two fighters want to get double-digit millions, to fight each other. So why not have someone who's going to share in the risk factor, right? The risk factor. You're going to have somebody who's willing to pay Crawford his 10+ million, and then you can cover a Spence, and then expand the distribution of the fight, and have that app as a viable to give you more revenue, so you could keep more revenue from the fight. That's what I'm saying.
So all right, Alexis is compelling, and I don't disagree with you because there's a lot of real logic in there because it's true. The walls are closing in on Spence.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
And that is happening. They coming at him from the IBF. They coming at him from WBC. They're coming for him. And these guys ain't PBC fighters that are coming for him.
Exactly.
So when they want him, we're not gonna play ball with you. Like they saved him. Most people don't know. They saved him from Ugas a long time ago. Ugas was calling him out by way of the IBF, and things got moved around, and the fight didn't happen. But the guys that's coming for him now, Virgil not worried about Crawford no more because he has an eliminator coming up. I believe it's by way of the WBC with Avanesian. Now, Avanesian. Now, this is the thing you got to pay attention to. I don't know if Avanesian is going to take that fight. If he does, he's going to get stopped, and Virgil becomes the Mando. If he doesn't take the fight, the man behind him will take the fight, and he will get stopped, and Virgil will become the Mando. One way or another, the walls are closing in on Spence. So there we agree.
Then he's over there in Showtime, where there's an additional pressure on him. He's PBC, Showtime. The additional pressure is that you got Boots Sanders running around in there.
Mhm.
And Steven Espinoza is going to say, well, I'll pay this much for that fight, And now you have Boots Sanders, who's not even PBC, a possibility of losing to a non-PBC fighter, but facing him because Espinoza is willing to pay that for that fight, and it's still not going to be as much money as what you could get with fighting a fight that everyone wants to see. So I do believe the Spence Crawford fight is going to get off a lot sooner than a lot.
Do you see it happening next year?
Yes. Oh yeah.
It'll never happen.
Well, we're gonna talk about that, right? That's what we're here for, right?
I mean, look. This is the thing. I have no faith that the fight happens. So, and that's me saying that if it don't happen, I'm not fucking surprised. If it does happen, great. But I don't see.
You're not holding your breath.
That's that's my favorite shit to say. I'm not holding my breath, bro. If they fucking fight, they fight. But if they don't, I didn't think they were going to.
I mean, Ring, haven't you been saying for the longest time the fight's called product?
To me, it's look, I don't look at the fight, and I know that everybody doesn't have the view that I have or the view that we have because they don't understand certain shit. If a guy's retina gets detached while he's wearing headgear, what happens if he's not wearing headgear? What happens?
He needs to retire.
It's a common sense argument. The dude was in a car accident. His retina got detached this year sparring while he was wearing headgear. So if you put him under the hot lights without the headgear and he gets hit in that eye, what's going to happen?
Honestly, if he gets the Crawford fight, Bud will end his career.
He'll retire him.
Yeah, after that.
Exactly.
He'll retire him.
But Bud ain't the only one who could do that. Budayev could do that.
Yeah,
that's true. Oh yeah, absolutely.
At this point, the wrong punch to that eye, that's all she wrote.
And if he even gets to that fight,
exactly.
Let's not forget. Spence say that he's not sparring yet. He says he's ready to spar, but it's not sparring yet. So he doesn't know if his high is gonna hold up.
And I love that. I love that Leo caught that. It was headlines all last week. Spence has been cleared to spar, and they asked him about it. No. Yeah, I could spar. I haven't started yet. Like, all right, that tells me everything.
Right.
Tells me everything I need. So you haven't started yet. So you don't have a fight coming up in it because you saying you're gonna come back in February, but you haven't started sparring yet, and we about to go into December.
No, listen.
That tells you everything you need to know about his next opponent.
Yeah, I have it under a real good. Let's just say somebody who knows what's going on told me his eye is really damaged. There's not a hoax or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
His eye is really damaged, and he's still drinking.
Oh my God!
Drinking thing is not under control.
I knew
that.
At the plant fight, he was fucked up.
Okay,
he didn't look right at the plant fight. He didn't look right at all.
So basically, you put those two factors in. There's nobody coming back in February, baby. Ain't nobody coming back. No.
Ooh.
Honestly, I think for his own safety, he really just should retire. And I'm not being biased or nothing. It's the eye I'm thinking about. That whole drinking thing is his personal issue, but the eye, just don't don't do that to yourself.
All right, now let me read these super chats. Crawford just might be the best finisher in boxing. I'm a big Crawford fan, so if it's Crawford love, I'm just going to agree because it's Crawford. Danny Omega says, would you rather Josh Taylor move up and fight Crawford or have Josh place a chokehold at 140 and prevent these 135-pounders from picking up empty titles? I'm going to tell you the truth.
Love that.
I'm going to tell you the truth, Danny. If it was up to me, Josh stays at 140. We put Keith Thurman in a cage and lock the door with Crawford. We do the same thing to Spence. We get Danny. We do the same thing to him. All right? Because What they have been allowed to get away with is why boxing in America is the way that it is. When you have a fight, before I pass it to Lady Chan, when you have a fight and you have grassroots interest on the ground, that is the time to make the fight. That is the time. And it's shameful. It's disgraceful that y'all had that with Crawford and Spence 2 years ago. Y'all had that. Y'all had it's ready. Nah, let's make Spence versus Porter. Like, you fucking idiots. Like, Lady Chan, do you think that Spence and Crawford are ever gonna fight?
No, he's ductorious. You know, that's what I call Spence, ductorious. He's victorious within his ducking. So no, he doesn't look like he wants to fight. But hi guys, everybody on the panel as well. Salute to you all.
Hey, Chan.
Hey.
Hey,
What I wanted
ladies.
to say is that there's some new breaking news because on the Porter Way podcast, Bud was just on it, just like literally an hour ago. And he explained that why he thinks that the PPVs were so low was because they was only on an app. And a lot of people that are on the app didn't know how to work the app, don't know how to put the app on their TV, don't know how to, so they didn't buy it because a lot of the audience were not tech savvy. So they kind of blocked off a lot of revenue coming through with just sticking them on an app. To me, that makes sense. If you don't know how to put the app on the TV, or that limits your sales.
I'm gonna say this is why I disagree, right? This is why I disagree. Smart TVs are not a new invention. They've been around for some years now. Most people know how to work one. Most people my age group, the 38 to 40 age group, the 50 year, they know how to work a smart TV. The sad truth is that if your numbers look like that, it's because you don't belong on pay-per-view. Neither does Spence. A lot of these guys, they don't belong on pay-per-view. I'm 38 years old. I have never seen so many pay-per-views in sequence. You can't make money if the cash cow of boxing was on pay-per-view earlier this month. No, the boxing fans already spent their money. They spent what they wanted to spend. So when your pay-per-view rolls around, they don't feel like doing it. To top it all off, right? The bar is very low right now, and I think we lose sight of that. The bar is very low, right? I love Sean Porter, dog. I really do. But you and him is not a pay-per-view. Like, in reality, nah.
How was it shown on you guys? Because here that fight was free on Sky Sports for free.
Well, I had to buy it on ESPN Plus. I bought it. That's how I did it. If you go to your ESPN, when you open it up on your smart TV or your phone or your tablet or your laptop, it was right there, and all you had to do was hit buy. So when he says that it was confusing, nah, it wasn't confusing, bro. Like, all you had to do was hit buy. That's it. You hit buy. That's it. And ESPN Plus has millions of subscribers. So no, unfortunately, that's
19 million.
Do you think that us in the UK not having it as PPV was detrimental to that fight?
Because the Brits don't. You guys don't want to pay, £30 for a 4 a.m., 5 a.m. pay-per-view with a weak undercard. Look, I like Yanni Beck and all of that, right? Yanni Beck versus Endom. Come on, dog. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, well, but we pay for PPVs at 4 and 5 in the morning since the beginning of time, since we've watched boxing. For us in the UK, that's just a part of the culture.
But not for that fight.
But not for that fight. If a fight for us seems major, we'll buy it. But what I'm saying is, at least have it as an option. Like, what damage could it do? But having it at least as an option, it would help towards the general global PPV sales.
This dawned on me, right? I don't know exactly how much money goes into marketing a fight these days, but it seems that a good chunk of the money that's in the pot, it just ends up to going to the guarantees for the fighters to ensure that there even is a fucking fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really get to sell it, which is why it feels like promoters don't promote anymore. And I feel like, if more of an effort went into marketing the fight, if less money went into, oh, well, you're gonna get a $4 or $5 million guarantee, and he's gonna get a $3, $4, $5 million guarantee. If 2 or 3 of those millions went into marketing the fight, maybe you could get more eyes on it. But once again, it's hard for me to believe that on an app that 19 million people already subscribed to, oh, they didn't know how to work. No, it's not that they didn't know how to work it. It's that, I'm sorry, bro, but this fight really doesn't belong on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I
Maybe you
think.
could think of. Mhm.
Wait,
Can I just say that was
Wait.
that you definitely got prediction of the year. Like, I don't know how you did that, but
That was an easy one. Because that was an easy one. And
Ray
look,
got a crystal ball, man. That's what it is.
that was an easy one. I don't even want credit for that because that literally was an easy one. Alexis, you know this. You know what I think of the PBC stable. Sean is the only elite level fighter, in my opinion, in that stable. The only one. The only one. That's it. Beyond him, that's it. All right? Because he's an
Say it.
alcoholic. He's an alcoholic.
Say it.
And Keith Thurman is a quasi-retired fighter. Al Heyman is not a boxing guy. He's a music guy. He knows absolutely nothing about grooming fighters. Because if you did, why would you have so many prospects and so many fighters sitting on the shelf? Why did Jermall Charlo only fight once this year? How are you supposed to keep him sharp for Canelo? He only fought once this year?
Can I ask
Jermall!
Miss Chan a question?
Go ahead.
When Miss Chan, when you said that Julius did the prediction of the year, what were you referring to?
of the outcome of the Crawford Porter fight. He said that basically there would be there'd be a stoppage via a towel throwing by Kenny. He'd see that his son would be taking too many flush shots, and what would put him down would be an uppercut. Yeah, it was just all bang on. And
So
it was
you
just
even
all
predicted the
bang on.
actual stoppage because I thought that you were just getting
Yeah.
that you were impressed at the ease with which Crawford handled that fight, and so it wasn't just that. It was that this guy actually
Specific. Yeah.
Yo, yeah,
everything.
I mean,
specific.
Okay.
yeah, look, Sean, like,
Wow.
because they don't look Crawford, like it's a lot of little things that people don't see in boxing. Like they only look at these, they don't look at the feet and who actually has good feet. Errol has shitty feet. He's a flat-footed fighter. He can't pivot and shift like Crawford. The reason that Felix Diaz could not get Crawford in front of him when he fought him is because he kept pivoting and hooking on the turn and firing the uppercut. So whenever he tried to lunge in, shift, uppercut, or hook, and he's walking them into shots. It's the same shit with Sean. You're little, you're smaller than Crawford. You have to lunge in, but when you do, he's gonna turn, hook. He's either gonna hook or he's gonna uppercut. And it was like that's basically it. That's why he didn't get hit as much as Errol because he has better feet.
If anything, I think if they were to fight, it would be more so about Spence like leaning in and just like getting caught. Like eventually he will get caught because I think at some point he's going to be like, I have to make these rounds more convincing because, like I said, Crawford is the guy who will mercilessly clinch for you. He doesn't care. He'll clinch you as many times as he needs to. My thing is with Spence, he does this thing where if he can't hit you in the middle of the ring, he will literally throw himself at you to where the point where you have to get into a clinch, and now you just gave him 5 hits because Errol Spence is just so good in the clinch. Like I've seen this many times where he'll come up to a guy, throw a punch, and then it'll completely miss right over his head. But now he's already in the game because you fall into a clinch, and now he's got 5 or 6 punches. And Spence like to do this thing where he likes to catch and shoot a lot. So with Spence, what he likes to do is instead of just chasing you down full blown to the point where I have to get shots or get you to the ropes, what he'll do is he'll throw a shot, wait for that shot to get close enough to you, and then he'll back up, then throw his punches. My thing is, if Spence southpaw advantage is considered useless against Crawford because he's going to be switching back and forth, then how is he able going to beat him in the middle of the ring? He can't. So I always said, go ahead.
You said it already. his main advantage, because it's the only advantage that he had. And say I'm fucked up. I don't care. Spence is not that good. He's a decent southpaw. That's it. He's
not.
decent. He's not that good. He is basic as fuck. I'm
I
sorry.
don't.
The
I'm
only
gonna be.
elite, no, look, the only elite level skill, and I've always given him credit for this, is he doesn't smother his own work. He gives himself enough room to work. He doesn't collapse the pocket. He'll step into his jab, but then he'll give himself enough room to put something on the punch. That's the only elite thing that I see that he does. Other than that, he's basic. Oh, he has a jab.
Honestly,
Crawford
here
will beat him. Crawford will beat him a lot worse than he will beat Porter, for the simple fact that it is going to be 5 years. 5 years of frustration unleashed. You got to remember that Porter was his friend, bro.
Yeah.
Porter was his friend. This is
By the
not
way,
a friend of
by the way,
his.
speaking of that, like speaking of that, I want to pose a question. Like, you're speaking of that ring. I want to pose a question. Like, before the 10th round, like Crawford was led to believe that he was down on the cards, and he asked how he like asked how, are you serious? Then he just said okay. Then he went out 15 seconds, dropped Sean. So I'm just wondering, okay, like, do you think he took it easy on Sean for the fight? Or
I think that no, it's not that he took it easy. I think he was just having things his way because he knew he could win the fight that way. All I have to do is shift. I can win the fight doing this. And if you actually make it to me, I'll tie you up. So you can't score. I'll tie you up. If you actually get close to me,
Yeah, but he didn't want to let it go to the judges.
Kel Brook.
No, I think what it was, me personally, and I could see what it was Crawford was doing. I think personally, he saw that he probably could be all aggressive out against Porter, but he didn't want to get suckered into that game. You could see almost every time he took Sean Porter to the corner, it was kind of the same thing what we seen with Caleb Plant and Canelo. He was just, hey, I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm just going to wait for you to make a mistake. And that's exactly what he did, because even when you look at the round right after the 8th, it was the 9th round, he threw like a 5-6 punch combination. I'm thinking this guy's about to go toe to toe with Sean Porter. Nah, he just backed off and did his own thing because he was like, oh,
you shouldn't, because it's like, look, how did Ray Leonard lose to Duran in the first fight? He fought Duran's fight.
Yep.
That's how he lost.
Did he do that in the rematch?
Now, motherfuckers will sit there and tell you Errol was trying to beat Sean at his own game. And what did that do? It got him hit 93 more times than Crawford got. That's all it did. You got hit by Sean 172 times. He only got hit by Sean 79. And
I'm gonna be honest though, Ray. There is one thing I do disagree that you say he's super basic. My thing is he is basic, but he does certain things so well.
No,
what he does well, he does well.
No. Look.
Let me finish this thought.
Wait. Let me do this. All right. Who the fuck did he do it against? Broken Brook?
Hello,
Little Mikey.
Hello.
Yes,
Mikey?
yeah. I mean,
No. It was Sean. It was Sean. He did it to Sean.
Yes,
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something.
He did good.
Kel Brook beat Sean better than Errol. Better
Yes,
than
he did.
Thurman.
That's true.
Better than Thurman.
He beat him more convincingly, but he didn't look all that good.
No, better meaning I'm not getting hit as much as you. Look, Brook didn't get hurt by Porter.
I mean,
did not get hurt.
Sean was never in the
Every time Sean
never in the book.
Okay, so let me just break this down. Okay, yeah, technically the best guy to decision Povetkin was Vladimir Klitschko. But was it an entertaining fight? No, it wasn't. It was incredible.
How are we not talking about entertainment? I'm talking about strategy.
Okay, cool. My thing is with Errol Spence, I think he did the job better because he was doing it in different ways, because of the fact that he was able to go toe to toe and knock him down. That's my thing. Now, my thing is,
you're saying that getting hit more than everyone else was the right way to go?
No, I think simply it was just one of those fights that just Errol Spence was not expecting. I just don't see it in my eyes.
Why didn't he expect it, Battle? You know, why didn't he expect it?
He like most people probably just thought Sean Porter was just taking it out of necessity, and and he
Mm,
thought
I
that he
don't
probably could
understand that
knock him down.
statement.
He's taking punishment like just out of the sense that he probably couldn't get away from Errol Spence. And my thing is he underestimated Sean Porter's punch resistance, and because of
Battle,
that,
battle. Quick question: Who
But
do you
Sean
think that?
Porter was never stopped. So
Who do you
why would
think?
he under?
Who do you battle? Who do you
yes,
think?
yes,
Wait,
yes,
battle.
but I'm pretty sure. And
Who do you think did a better job, Terrence or Errol against Sean?
Terrence Crawford did. But at the same time, I think that what it was is he just underestimated Sean's punch resistance. And in my opinion, he thought that he could get the knockdown sooner, but it didn't happen. It's just how it is. My thing
Why would he
is,
under? I'm sorry,
Well,
Batty, but why would he
that just shows
underestimate?
that he's basic.
huh?
Can I
Yeah,
say, look, can
why
I
would he
tell, can I
Basic.
tell,
underestimate his
look,
punch
can I
resistance?
tell you why he's basic? Can I tell you why he's basic? He has a good jab. He has a good straight left hand. He has a good body attack. Like, but the guys that my thing is who are you doing this to? You beat Brooke, but Brooke got beat by Golovkin before you fought him. Oh, you beat Mikey over 12 rounds. Bro, you were supposed to stop Mikey, not just beat him. Because every other fighter
Thank
that
you.
fought a fighter, every other fighter that fought a fighter that had moved up 2 weight classes, they stopped him. Golovkin stopped Brooke. Canelo stopped Khan.
You know, you realize we
Lomachenko,
can use these same criticisms for Crawford, right?
Loma made motherfucking Rigo quit. He made him quit.
You realize we can use these same criticisms for Crawford, right?
Who did Crawford
Coulda,
not
shoulda,
stop,
woulda,
bro?
but
Because
can't, man.
Who did Crawford not stop, bro?
explain.
Who did he not stop?
I didn't say he didn't stop. We use these
Then
same
how
criticisms
is it a
because
parallel?
Crawford just stopped
because first you
everybody.
mentioned Brooke like he didn't fight Brooke and stop him. Like, okay, yeah, like it happens. That's just how it is. This is part of
Brooke
boxing.
actually
It's
stopped
like,
himself.
he stopped
That's true
himself.
too.
I
That
mean,
is
yes,
true.
but
That is true. He did stop himself.
yeah, but the fact of the matter is, you still can. It's the same parallel. They both got stopped previously beforehand. They wasn't looking good beforehand. So
Yeah, but I'm not the one that's saying that Brooke is a career-defining win for Crawford. To me, Crawford's
okay,
career-defining wins was what he did at 135 and 140. Them guys at 147 won about nothing. The guys that Errol beat. Who did he beat at
Look,
147?
this is my problem with
Chris
all the
Algieri.
shit about
Chris Algieri.
Terence Crawford
Chris
and Errol Spence.
Algieri.
This is my
his
problem.
career defining finish is Sean Porter.
Wait.
But he called him the
Every
easy route.
What happened?
every time a guy mentions Crawford and say his resume is weak, he doesn't have elite wins in his resume. Every fighter he has faced has you can say something about him, but Errol Spence somehow is an elite fighter because he beat Brook. We got his ass whooped by Triple G because he beat Michael by decision, and because he edged Porter.
Edged.
And that makes him elite.
Right now,
He
Errol
has-
Spence is ranked as a pound-for-pound fighter because of Broken Brook, Little Mikey, and Easy Street Sean. Because he called him, he said that.
Yep.
Why wouldn't I call it Easy Street? Why wouldn't I?
I mean, if we're going down that route, it's not enough momentum at the welterweight division unless you are fighting these prospects. Unless you really one of those guys who just really rooting for these in betweener fights with PBC like Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. I'm not anymore. It's just not my thing. So like I said, it's just not enough momentum. They're gonna for them in their mind, Sean Porter was the best win he could have ever had, unless you're talking about Keith Thurman, which is going to happen. So I can see it for what it is, Ring. My thing is with Errol, I think he does his job well because of the fact that one, like you said, he doesn't smother his work. His work is extremely good when he doesn't smother his work. Also, on top of that, because he has a certain style that I think is so simplistic, but it works so well, which is like I said, he likes to push off and come back with his combinations, and he has a catch and shoot style. That works so unbelievably well, and it can stop a lot of people just doing that. But the fact of the matter is, because of this stupid side of the street talk, because he just wasn't willing to take more opportunities, now he's going to look as a hindrance. Go ahead.
Look, he fights like a created player that you just made, Everything looks nice.
Well,
He,
I
he
mean,
come on, Bat. What does he really have? Be honest. Oh, because he doesn't. No, come on, let me do this. Because he doesn't collapse the pocket. I know a lot of fun. You know that Virgil Ortiz doesn't collapse the pocket. He gives himself enough room to throw.
honestly, me personally, I just see him kind of like as a shotgun fighter. He's almost in a sense like Bivol. He gets off on throwing a bunch of shotgun combinations. That's cool and all, but me personally, I think the science to it with Errol Spence does better is the fact that he can get off so much frequently to the point that if you press him
Against who?
against
Against
who's like I said, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. I mean, they're good enough candidates like where I could just say it's okay.
In other
But-
words, okay. In other words, let's take all of this stuff, right? Just the aspects of the conversation that we're used to when it comes to Errol, and just look at the situation for what it is. Let's not call him Errol. You beat Chris Algieri. Would I be shouting it from the rooftops right now that a guy? No, I wouldn't. Not because you beat Chris Algieri. Oh, you beat Brook after Golovkin beat Brook. I still wouldn't be shouting it from the rooftops. Oh, you beat a fat lightweight, Mikey Garcia, that didn't throw any punches and you couldn't knock him down. That
Bro,
tells me
I can't
but
believe
you gotta
you're
let
going.
me finish. Bro, you gotta let me finish. I hold everybody to that standard. If Brook would have went 12 rounds with Golovkin, I'd have been like, yo, Golovkin is a fucking hype job, B.
Rain, what is your
By the way,
opinion of
wait. The Ring, I think you got Drew in the back. He might be in the back.
All right.
Ring? What is your opinion of Edwin Valero?
I don't know that much about him, to be honest.
No, what is your opinion on him as a fighter? You don't really need to know much. Just
I say that I believe that his legacy. I believe that his legacy is the Pac thing almost. That like because not Pac, Big L. For me, it's Big L. I believe
because he
that
died.
Because he died. You know, like he fuck around would have lost his next fight. Who knows? This is boxing.
Well, you know, as people still to this day that says this guy would have beaten Pacquiao at 130, right?
And that sounds nonsensical to me.
Okay. So you're not one of those.
Yeah. Battle, I just wanted to comment on something you said about Spence. Spence having a style to put people down. When's the last time there's been a man down? When's the last time it's been strap season? Ocampo?
It's been a while, but I think
he hasn't put nobody elite down.
And Battle, this is what I'm gonna say too. I don't
Sean
hold
Porter?
it against Battle. I don't hold it against you, right? That maybe you a fan of him because you allowed to be a fan of him regardless.
I'm an even bigger fan of Crawford. Let
me just say this. My point is this, right? The things that are supposed to be selling points that characterize his elitism, right? The things we talk about. These are things that we haven't seen in a long time. He didn't stop Danny. He didn't even drop Danny. But he did land a lot of fucking punches on. He did land a lot on there. I've seen the fight.
Yes, like it's pretty consistent.
Now I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, if that same Danny Gersha fought Virgil Ortiz, he don't see the 12th. He don't see.
We really don't know until that fight happened because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, has there been a big how do I put this? It's been a delay since we seen band down Errol Spence. I get that 100%, but like I said, almost every time you see this guy fight, this guy is piling on a lot of punishment on his opponents. I can clearly see that. My thing is with Mikey, like I said, I can clearly see that. What? Like almost every single time.
Battle. Who's he beating? Who's he beating though? Really?
Thank you, Jay. Because every time I see Crawford get out there, whether it's Kavaliauskas, whether it's Khan, Brook, Porter, Benavidez, Horn, they get knocked the fuck out.
The thing is,
he stopped all his opponents at welterweight for like the last
you keep saying
Errol's stopping inferior competition that don't even belong in the ring with him.
Yep.
Who didn't belong in the ring with him?
You mean to tell me
Mikey Garcia deserved that shot? Didn't Errol swear to knock out Sean Porter before the fight?
Yes, he did.
And what happened? Did he?
You are forgetting his greatest weapon in the ring. This is Errol I'm talking about.
What's the greatest weapon?
He's gonna get you close after a drink and start nibbling on your neck.
I feel
we gotta let Lady Chan talk. She's been quiet, and I know it's late in the UK. Lady
Yeah,
Chan.
no, I'm just listening. No, I'm just listening.
I,
I'm with you guys. I just don't think what Spence has done is been majorly spectacular. Yeah, I can get the things that he does do. Yeah, you can say he's got a good jab. Yeah, he knows how to stick a move. He doesn't smother his work. But you just have to look at the level of opponent and where they were coming into the fight. Like we said, he had a broken Kell Brook. You know, he had a pumped up Garcia. As we just seen Garcia get stopped or get
He
outpointed
lost by
by a
Sandor
lesser
Martin.
opponent, you know. So yeah, Sandor Martin. So you know, it's level of opponent, everything in context. Like Bud Crawford is done better. That's just the simple
I
up and down of it.
I want to ask
he
a question. I want to ask a question up to the panel. What do you think about David Benavides? David Benavides, how is he looking so far? David Benavides is a skill fighter or is a big, huge,
Big
fucking
fighter.
dude?
He's just a big fighter. He doesn't
Errol
even.
Spence is a
It's him.
huge, is a
no,
broken,
no, that is
Yes.
that is not the
Yes.
same comparison. That is
Yes.
just
is a
this is
Nah,
weird,
I
man.
think
This is
I
this
think
is
David's
honestly
a little
weird.
Battle, honestly, it sounds to me, and I'm being honest, right?
No, don't be
No,
honest. Lie, because
let
I
me
want you
be
to
honest.
lie.
No, let me be honest. Let me just be honest. Look. I was high on Errol in 2016 and 2017. He's not what I thought he was, and I've seen enough to know that. All right,
That's because he doesn't want to fight our favorite fighter. I get it.
no, it's not because of
No.
that. It's because of who you did fight.
Mhm.
It's because of what happened when you got out there. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I honestly think Boots could stop Porter. Yeah, I think Boots could.
Now,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
No,
Of course he could.
even no.
Before,
Look, even in other words, I believe the version of Porter
ago.
that Errol fought, the version of Porter that Errol fought, I wholeheartedly believe Virgil, he would stop him.
Yeah, just
Boots,
like he stopped that
Boots,
Russian dude. You remember that
Boots,
Russian dude he fought on Showtime when he was
hey,
struggling to mess with?
Kavaliauskas.
Yeah, are you
Hey,
kidding me,
Kavaliauskas.
man?
For
Are
me,
you
it's
kidding
very
me, man?
simple.
Come on. Like,
Kavaliauskas, yo,
Yeah,
this is the thing. This is the thing. And I think that you giving too much credit to the bells and whistles in the promotion than the reality. The dude you
I
brought up on the
just,
battle, let me talk, dog.
I'm gonna mute myself.
The Lithuanian, not the Russian, because he's not Russian, and that's how I know. He's Lithuanian, not Russian. That's a completely different country. That's a two-time Olympian who's huge for welterweight. You don't know that, but he's huge for welterweight. That guy could go to 154. So could Virgil. So could Boots. That
Yes, so is
Kavaliauskas.
Boots. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You,
That's what I'm saying.
But where does
if they're if
where does
The thing
like,
is, the
if
thing
we're
is this.
saying that Spence doesn't like really, he doesn't carry major power. Where
He
does he
doesn't.
think he's? Yeah, and I agree. Where does he think he's going at 54?
He's getting,
If he,
I mean, he gets
I don't think he
listen,
goes
right and
far.
center.
But
I
I don't think. Go
I
ahead.
told Lucia the other day, shout out to Lucia Bucks and Dev. If he were to fight Brian Castano at 154 pounds, he gets stopped.
He does.
He gets
Because
stopped.
Castagno
I like to
comes
see him in there
forward,
against Tim Tszyu.
punches in
The thing is
bunches,
this:
Let him fight Jared Hurd.
Errol
and has
Spence,
power and has pop.
Errol Spence, and all those guys over there, they're not in it to put in a Hall of Fame resume.
Nope.
They're fighting to just get the paycheck, and that's okay. But you can't. Errol is not lived up to his potential or the hype because
No.
we're measuring
Well,
him on,
part of
oh,
the
he could do this, he could do that against B and C level fighters. Let's keep it real. Who's the
Yeah,
most?
but you know
elite
what? Errol
who's the most? Can I
has-
finish? Can I finish? Can I finish?
Yeah,
Who's the most
go ahead.
elite prime pound per pound fighter Errol's ever fought?
What's his best win? What's his best win?
Has
Sean
Errol
Porter.
fought
Porter.
another Hall of Famer? Has Errol
Sean
fought another
Porter.
Hall of Famer? Has Errol fought a pound per pound fighter?
I mean, has Crawford?
Yes.
Yeah, Gamboa.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Nobody was pound for pound.
Okay.
He was pound for pound, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, so was Sean Porter, wasn't he?
No, when was Sean
No.
Porter pound for pound?
No. Sean Porter's
Come on,
only
come
been
on. See, Battle, this is-
two
What
twice
pound?
champion.
Okay,
only
fine.
47.
We wanna play that.
Come on,
We
like,
wanna
come
play that
on,
game.
Battle,
Okay,
come on,
cool.
like, you tripping, like,
Ring,
you tripping, bro.
You want to play that game? Okay.
What other weight cats did Sean Porter?
Hold on. Okay,
Women.
cool. You want to play that game? Ring. He fought Mikey Garcia.
Oh,
come on.
Hey, battle.
No.
Wait,
Wait. Let me champ the shit. I'm glad you brought Mikey up. Now, what's the difference between Crawford and Errol in that situation? When they fought a pound for pound little dude, what's the difference? Crawford bounced his little ass off the canvas. Errol hit the motherfucker. He hit this motherfucker 345 times and couldn't drop him.
Yeah, but he didn't lose a round, did he?
And Errol
It's
fought.
not about you losing a round. You debuted as a junior middleweight. You debuted as a junior middleweight.
Bud fought Gamboa at his best weight. He didn't make him move up 2 weights to get the fight.
Well, then that makes it even better.
I'm listening.
That was his choice. He said that was he said before the fight was announced that he wanted to go.
Errol's made his money.
It sounds like when we get to the meat. It sounds like when we get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation, you can't really substantiate what the rest of us are supposed to be high on. We're telling you why we not high on them, but you telling us that we supposed to be off of what, bro?
No,
Your best win. Your best win. Listen, Kell Brook is your best win because he beat Sean. So that's your best win. Mikey don't even count because that's a joke. That was a joke. Your best win is Brook. Okay, and what happened to Brook? He just got his ass beat by Gennady Golovkin. He just got his face broke.
Yeah.
I want to say something. Look, this is why I cannot be really a fan of whole Errol Spence fan. I can't. Dude, someone said here in the panel that he has been drinking is his issue. It's not our issue. No, it's not. It's our issue. Because when you get in trouble, when you crash a car, you fuck up the world division. Not you are not living to your hype, to your expectation, to your potential. You fuck up the world division for more than 2 years.
Yeah, he did.
So no, I cannot. Look, if you are big, if you are strong, if you have a chin, great. Cavaliaskas is big. Vigil Ortiz is big.
Yeah.
But these guys, they behave like fighters. So I can root for him.
No, more importantly, you hit the nail on the head. For the last 2 years, the red belt and the green belt, we haven't got to see it in circulation. Why? Because of alcoholic Errol. Because of all his fucking problems.
But we do realize this started.
There's a good question in the chat. There's a good question in the chat, Julius. Donnie T. He said, "Well, Ring, tell us why you were high on Errol at the point when you was high on him."
Okay, first, let me read these 2 super chats. They've been here forever. Why don't Bud use his WBO exemption to face Castaño? There's already a mandatory in place. That's Tim Zhu. He's already in place. Can't move him off. And 2, I mean, it's the same situation as what he's already been facing. Castaño's a PBC fighter. We know who he's fighting next. They're fighting for undisputed. Maybe Crawford will move up after that and see about becoming undisputed at 54. I don't know. I don't know. Willie Lynch says, Spence is an actor, not a boxer. He only acts like he wants to fight anybody so he can get that marquee value. The man is too scared of fighting real killers. And to answer the question that was posed to me, why was I high on Errol? I'm big on southpaws that have a jab. And he had one when he was coming up. He has a good jab. He's a southpaw. He doesn't collapse the pocket. He looked like he had okay feet. But I've seen enough since then that when your competition stepped up, you didn't step up with it. You didn't show another gear. When Sean Porter, when you were fighting Sean Porter, what you showed me is you don't have the feet to get away from a guy like this.
He doesn't.
You don't have the feet. All you got to do is shift. Now I'm not trying to down. Now I don't want to make it sound easy, but I'm saying that if you were who I thought you were, the fight wouldn't have looked the way that it looked. It looked that way because you're limited. You're basic.
It's a running
as
theme.
an elite southpaw, he didn't give Porter problems. Like if he was such an elite southpaw, his footwork it gave Porter no problems. Hence why I'm not going to lie, Porter going into the fight with Bud, it didn't matter that his foot was even in the inside. He was like, I've done Errol. That didn't pose as a problem. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Wait. The Brook fight, and I advise all of you go back and watch it. As a southpaw, if you're in elite southpaw, Brook's jab, his orthodox jab, shouldn't be landing more than your southpaw jab. Your southpaw jab's supposed to be coming over the top of his, but he's jabbing you more than you jabbing him.
Me personally, can I say something?
I've been waiting for a while. See, the one thing about Spence, though, he's on his way to being the next Lehman Brewster with that eye, dude. That's a problem.
Yeah, he'd be out. He's out. He's out. He's going to be like a Kell Brook. Once you've got that damage to your eye, your confidence is gone. Once your target, if he fights Crawford is going to target that eye just like how he did with Kell Brook. Kell Brook just cringed straight away. He couldn't fight anymore because it's mental. When you've got an eye injury, it's game over.
Let's call it what it is. There's a running theme with all these guys at the PBC. We keep asking, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? They're the same age as Canelo. They're not students of the game. They don't live in the gym. They don't get better each fight. Name a PBC fighter that gets better every fight, that adds new nuance to their game, new wrinkles. None of them. They're not getting better. They don't live in the gym. Canelo's going back to the gym next week to train full time.
Bro, he doesn't fucking leave the gym.
That's what makes you elite.
That's all he was doing. That's all he was doing during the pandemic. Posting videos of him training.
So none of these PBC guys get better at all.
I'd say there is one guy I saw got progressively better because I thought his style was just straight ugly, and that's Sean Porter. But I think the thing is, me personally, like I get it. Like you just don't. We don't really. They're going to age very badly for PBC with the level of game plan they have been doing for fights. My thing is just when it came to Errol, I just wanted just people to understand. I feel like his style was much better than what Ring has. So I mean, it's just cool. I mean, maybe we can just disagree on that.
But Errol has a forgettable career. It's going to be what could have been.
I mean, we as hardcores are going to say that.
Drew, that's where I'm at.
Porter never got better. I'm with King KO.
That 30 for 30 on the PBC.
Porter never got better. Porter never got better. Seriously?
No, Porter never got better.
Do you see
he got to a certain plane and he plateaued.
Porter's game plan. Porter's game planning got better. Porter's game planning got better. But the actual nuance in the ring, he still made the same mistakes.
Okay, so did you? I disagree wholeheartedly.
No, wait a minute. Look, I love Sean, but I'm with Drew on this. I'm with Lady Chan on this. Porter never got better. He kept getting dropped for doing the same shit. Lunging in, squared up, both shoulders facing his opponent. Gets hit and he's off balance.
Okay, first of all, if you looked at both of the knockdowns when he got knocked down by Errol and Adrian Broner, it wasn't because he was lunging in. When he got knocked by Adrian Broner, it was just a flash knockdown. When he got knocked down by Errol Spence, it's because Spence was holding on to the back of his head and then threw a left hook. That's what happened. The only time he got knocked down lunging is with Terrence Crawford.
He got knocked down lunging in with Errol Spence, bro. I remember.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I remember he was coming forward. And
so if you watch the replay, Errol Spence
at the end of the fight. The later rounds is where he would.
If you watch the replay, Errol Spence was holding on to the back of his head, let go, and threw a left hook. You remember the Shane Mosley and Mayweather fight when he did the exact same thing?
Okay, you just telling me what Errol was doing. What was Sean's feet doing, Battle?
He was leaning forward because he was getting held onto the back.
See, this is what I mean. Dog.
Okay. Wait. Hold up. Ring. Let me put this in perspective, right? If somebody is leaning on your head, I'm supposed to just stand still. How am I supposed to keep my balance?
How about you pivot?
I'm gonna pivot if somebody hold on to the back of my head. Are you serious?
Wait a minute. Battle. Did Coppinger put you up to this battle?
Pivoting, you let a shot go and move out of the way. Yes, you do. That's what makes you an elite fighter.
Okay, Lady Chan. Maybe you don't know wrestling, but the fact of the matter is, if you know wrestling, if you can, of course, exactly. That's exactly why you just don't know.
Battle. You're saying Battle, you're
I know you are, but what am I? What are we,
oh,
grade
come
schools
on,
now?
let's
Come on, y'all, knock it
no,
off. Come on, y'all,
no,
knock it
not
off.
again,
Knock it off.
not again.
Come on, guys.
I'll
We're
mute
gonna
the
move on,
mics. I
guys.
swear to God, I'll mute the mics.
Let-
Listen
let-
to
let
me.
me- let-
Battle, let
No,
me
no, we
address
are
your
not going
point.
to.
Battle, let me address your point, right? You said that Errol had his hand over his head. I know, I remember. The mistake that Sean made was he just kept coming forward trying to charge him. He could have repositioned his feet. He could have did that. Or you could just weave under his arm. He
He was.
he gets now I'm gonna say he gets caught, and usually when he get caught, sometimes he's not even really hurt, like the flash knockdown in the Broner fight, right? It's sometimes it's because he's off balance. He
Yeah, he
keeps
footwork
making the
trash.
same
He
mistake.
tripped.
Mhm.
He
You
tripped. You always
here?
get a
Okay,
trip
so
up, even in the
But
Bud
now
fight.
let me
now,
Even in
Battle,
the
go
Bud
back.
fight, he tripped.
let me
Go back
respond
to
to
the
that.
Crawford
Fight,
fight.
he
Go
tripped.
Battle.
Let me
Go back
respond.
to the Crawford fight. Go back to the Crawford fight. If
Okay,
you
bro.
watch,
I just watched the. Okay, okay,
all
He
okay.
right, I'm
tripped
just saying.
over in that fight.
I'm just saying. Pay attention. When the first knockdown happened, Sean set him up. He set himself up to be knocked down because he was squared up to Crawford like this
Bro,
with
like,
both shoulders.
Bro, even
bro, if
before
Came
you,
in
that,
with the uppercut.
bro,
Julius, even
I
before that, in
get
the
it.
fight, he
Okay,
tripped. He
it's
tripped and
only
fell
so many.
down.
Here, okay, I get it, Ring. But we have to understand there's only so many times you can be aggressive against Crawford, and he's not timing you completely. It's just what it is.
But
My
you
thing
making it
is,
about Crawford when you say that
no,
when this is a recurring theme with Sean
but
with different opponents.
hold up. Remember okay, so we had a conversation when I told you defense is an objective. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you are constantly moving forward, you're going to get hit more so than you're moving backwards. My thing is when it came to Sean Porter, his effective aggression got way better because he wasn't just doing blue 42 hut charging people like he was doing. His balance got better, his footwork got better. When he fought Danny Garcia, that was probably his best performance. Why? Because he wasn't just charging in; he was actually
Bro,
fighting aggressively and fighting
bro,
smartly.
you said
My
that he
thing
ain't
is,
doing his blue
hold up,
hut 42 shit when I just seen him do that on Saturday.
what? What?
I
Are we
just
watching the
seen,
same fights?
bro, dog. He was literally charging at Bud, and Bud just shift, got him to the corner. He literally guided him into the turnbuckle because you
Being
just,
listen, if listen, you can. I don't understand why you just see that as blue 42. If you look at the okay, did you see him fight Paulie Malignaggi?
yeah, good fight.
Do you remember how ugly that fight looked? How he was trying to get
I
inside,
don't
like.
look, but see, you call it. I like Sean's pressure. Don't misunderstand me. I don't like his punch variety. I don't like that's the ugly
I
part.
not
Once
really
he
like
gets
his style.
Can
but
can
we
we
like
admit?
to the
that
guy,
he brings. We like when he's when he applies pressure.
yeah,
Love
like
it.
I like watching him chase the guy, right? I love watching him chase the guy.
But you know
when
what's gonna happen?
he's gonna get so fucking close that
He's gonna get clocked.
Okay,
He's literally,
okay,
guys, when he when he does that, he's literally begging to be countered in a variety of ways.
okay.
And he always
Somewhat,
is.
we're somewhat on the same. We're somewhat on the same wavelength. Okay, can we all agree? This is for the panel now. Can we all agree that Sean Porter's fights have gotten way less messy than they originally were?
I think
Because
this
they
fight
were
he was less
extremely messy when he first
because
I
came
think
out.
in
no,
this
because
fight,
the
I
Spence
think in
fight
the
was
Bud
messy.
fight he was less
I can agree.
messy, but it began to unravel like everybody predicted that it would be. He would start off looking aight, and then it would unravel, and none of his punches would land flush.
Do you guys remember the?
101?
Do you guys remember the Andre Berto fight when this guy literally headbutted the guy and followed up with a right hand and left? I was, bro, like
Yeah.
this is messy, bro. Like he
But
got
the
better.
battle, the Spence fight was messy, bro.
Yeah, it was more so messy because, like I said, Spence was willing to trade with him. He was more so willing to wrestle. That's it.
You gotta
Fights
stop.
are messy.
Don't
Come on.
rephrase it, bro.
All
See,
his
like
fights are messy.
yeah, like you're talking
I don't think.
a consistently messy fighter, and then please don't hit me with the yes. Spence was willing to trade. You didn't have a fucking choice. You couldn't get away from him. It's not that you were
'cause
willing.
Your footwork wasn't good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
Sean made you fight his
I
fight.
was,
you wanted
Sean's the
you
better
wanted to
athlete.
get hit 172 times. You wanted that.
What are we
Come
talking
on.
about? Obviously, if somebody is not willing to fight up close with you, it's going to be less messy. That's what happened with Kell Brook because that's all he was doing was clinching, right? So it was less messy. My thing is, it's just like I've seen him get. Man, I don't know, man. I guess maybe you guys just see it from a different wavelength.
Look, honestly, I think you're still high on. I think you're still high on Errol. I think you're giving him way too much credit, and I love Sean, but and that's how I know that I'm not off base. That like, look, Sean's the element of Sean's game that I like is no matter what, he's gonna close the gap. No matter what. The only guy, no matter what, the only guy I've seen really deal with it, and I'm not fanboying, just being honest. My man Terrence Crawford.
Okay, so I'm a guy who really likes to talk styles. Like I can talk about it for years. My thing is, it just seems like you guys like just viewpoint just very limited on how to view these fighters. Because I think like with the comparison with David Benavidez, like what are you kidding me? Like this, it's just weird. Like I'm aware that David Benavidez.
No, we weren't comparing styles, but there was a parallel there.
No,
what is it? Wait. What is it that David has working for him in the super middleweight division? His size, his volume, and his power, right? Now let's apply that to a welterweight. What is it that Errol really has working for him in the welterweight division? Is it really his boxing? No, it's his size.
It's not really his power, but it's his size. He doesn't.
Exactly.
And the reason the fight went the way it went with Porter because Porter was the better athlete, so he could dictate athletically what kind of fight it was going to be because Errol couldn't impose his will athletically.
Errol couldn't shake and bake him.
We both all agreed. I think it was like last week that Errol Spence, in you guys' opinion, was never seen as the top puncher in the division. I get it. The thing is, what he does manage to do is consistently land punches over and over again. Cool. That's his thing. He doesn't get smothered all that often because he knows how to operate off a distance. That's my thing about Errol Spence. He does that very effectively. When it comes to David Benavidez, I know he has a modicum of skill, but there's a lot of things I see he's very fundamentally flawed on. His footwork, his defense, like it's a lot of simple stuff.
And then when we add the nuance, okay, he did it against Danny Garcia, who's a career journeyman at 147.
Basically,
he did it against a broken Kell Brook. So we're measuring Errol's eliteness on like
we can use the same thing for Crawford with some of his resume. I mean it's kind of interchangeable sometimes. Unless you're looking at 147.
Crawford is a 3-division champion.
Two-time lineal.
Crawford has earned the benefit of the doubt with fans.
Two-time lineal, undisputed. It's not even up for debate.
Exactly.
Why is that not up for debate?
Because we're talking. Do you honestly think
stats? Why
the welterweights of old, the legends? You think that Errol's name is gonna get because you know he beat Kell Brook.
You think Errol could hang with Ike Cortez and Obakar?
Why are you guys jumping to extremes? You're acting.
Errol Spence can hang with Ike Cortez, Obakar.
10 years from now, barbershop in Oakland somewhere. You think they're going to talk about Spence versus Mikey Garcia?
Man, why? See, this is kind of telling me that this is really telling.
Just
if you
be
guys
honest, Battle. Stop sugarcoating the shit.
I'm not sugarcoating. No. This
That's
conversation.
Not a fight. Let me put it another way. That's not a fight that you go to YouTube to watch again. It's not.
Okay. Let me say this. This is very telling of what you guys thought, because this whole conversation just started off styles alone. I'm just talking styles. You're acting like I put him in a category as far as his legacy that I didn't put him in. I never said he was the greatest.
His style is elite, and we're saying it's not.
I didn't say it was. I didn't say it was elite. I said, okay. When did you hear me say his style was elite, Lady Chan?
You said his style was elite. He had what? No,
you
what
did
you
say
I
that,
said
Battle.
this. I said this.
Battle. Very well.
You did. When I was my last cigarette that I smoked, you did say that.
I said I think his style is way better than you gave him credit for. Ring. Didn't I say that? Did I say it was elite?
And I said that he's not elite, bro. What we arguing about? So wait, battle.
Yeah,
Let me get it right. Let me get it right, Battle. So when I say that I don't think Spence is elite, you agreeing with me, right?
As far as what his punching?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No. What are we talking? We talking about his legacy, or are we talking about his style?
He's an elite fighter.
I didn't say legacy. I just asked you. Do you consider Errol Spence an elite fighter?
Crickets.
Well, I mean, can we specify? Are we talking about styles or just his legacy?
No, it's just an elite fighter. Is an elite fighter.
Yes and no, man.
It's because he considers him an elite fighter.
Yeah.
That's why he
no,
question.
bro. Can we just? Okay, first of all, Ring, can we just
Hey yo,
specify?
hey
Are
yo,
we
battle. Look at
okay,
me.
no,
Look at
no,
battle.
cool,
Look at me.
cool. Go
Battle.
ahead.
Look at me. Battle. Look at me.
N-
Boots, I ever beat that motherfucker right now.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Boots
I mean,
ever beat that
that's
motherfucker
I wanna
right now.
I
that's
wanna
all fine and then see you expected me to defend Spence and say no
I
he
wanna
won't like
I wanna
but
s-
here's my thing.
I
Go
wanna say
ahead,
this.
Leo.
I wanna say this. Okay, maybe was what Battle is saying right now is Errol Spence does good things in the ring. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He has good skills and he's a world champion. I can give it them.
I give him that.
Now, one guy that many people have said that he has good skills and he's a good fighter. He has been a champion um, for multiple weight classes. Also, is Adrian Bronner. Adrian
Mhm.
Bronner also he does good things in the ring. You can tell he counter punches. He has a good jab. Maybe his activity. Maybe he's off in some of this fight, but he does good things. Now, maybe the panel is in some way jumping Battle because they feel like Battle is being a fan of Aerosmith. I
Yeah, and
personally cannot.
it's weird,
And
I,
Leo.
I
and
but look, I
It's very
personally
weird.
cannot be fan
can't
of a
see
guy like that
Mhm.
when I have Virgil Ortiz, when I have Terence Crawford and Sean Porter in the same
And,
division. I cannot.
and you
I
and
cannot be.
Ring act like he doesn't know me. Who's been complaining about the welterweight division for the longest? Who's been calling
Listen.
Errol Spence
Listen.
a
All
dud?
we doing,
Me.
all we
All right,
doing
he's
is
an elite dark. The end.
all we doing. Let me
Right.
let the room cool off. I'm gonna read this super chat. I've never seen anything special about Spence. You say Spence did well against Porter. I say all I saw was a scared man who slowly gained confidence.
I wouldn't say
Ooh,
that.
battle.
Yeah. See, I mean,
Ooh, battle. They coming for your head, battle.
I
Now
mean,
police says, hold
come
on,
forward. I mean,
wait.
I still don't
Hey,
agree with what
now
he said,
police
but
says at this point, Boots puts a beating on Errol. Errol ain't all that special, just my honest opinion. Look, I had high hopes for Errol. I'm gonna say this, right? It's a lot of Greek tragedies in boxing. I had high hopes for Keith. That didn't last long.
I mean, you could
Keith,
like Arrow's style. All my point has always been, what does he do elite? That's
That's
it.
all.
What does he do elite?
I already told you he has in my opinion he has some of the best disc controls I ever seen. But like I said, every time I say something,
I retorted. He shows it against inferior competition. So how is that
yes,
elite?
that is
Listen.
see you guys are
You're not controlling the distance if Sean is this close to you, bro. You're not
shot
controlling anything.
and
Bro.
didn't I say
asked, what pound for pound fighter has he shown this elite skill against? And you couldn't answer.
And I'm gonna say this about the Mikey Garcia fight, which really just chapped my ass. You couldn't put a nice uppercut in because Mikey was covering up most of the fight. He wasn't fighting back, and a lot of people say, "Oh, he was in survival mode." It was hard to hit him with a clean shot, but I'm like, look, dog, you debuted as a junior middleweight. That's one. Two, pick the punches, bait him, hit him to the body a couple of times to get him to drop those arms and hit him in the face.
bro,
I don't
he hit him
see
in the
where
face
you
I
were
don't know
leading.
how many times.
Take one
Did
to
you
give one.
Wasn't Mikey
If-
actually a
if-
featherweight?
What did Triple G do? What did Triple G do when Kell Brook came up? He took a couple of shots to give him a couple chingazos. Harold didn't do that with fucking
wait,
Mikey.
Julius.
Vamos a los chingazos.
He had him a chingazo, right in his eye, man.
Caleb elite.
Julius,
player.
let me say this. Okay,
keep going off this
look,
elite like I said it. Like
no.
that's what you said. You like to put words in people's mouth.
I know
But
I'm gonna
anyway,
talk
like
about
it,
Battle.
it's not you, Leo. I'm not obviously not talking
Let
about
me
you.
read, let me read. Wait,
let
I'm
me
gonna
say
pass
this.
it to you, Leo. I got two
Okay.
super chats from Jaime. Let me read Jaime's super chats. Got in late, Julius. What up? God, I caught the show, fam. Appreciate you, Jaime. I don't see Errol and Al making the Bud fight anytime soon. I think they take the Floyd route with Pac and gonna wait and hope he gets old. Hope I'm wrong. It's possible he is older than Errol. He is older than Errol.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, look, I have
Only by a
biggest
couple
expectations.
years though.
Hey, wait, Ring
Sorry,
Chat. I'm gonna jump.
I,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump off now, guys. Appreciate you having me on. Thank you, guys.
okay.
Have a good night, man.
Bye, Alex.
Bye,
All right.
Ace.
I
All
have
right. Later, guys.
great
All
expectations
right.
for some of these guys that are coming up, like Okolie. For me, Okolie is the truth. For me, Okolie beats Merux Vides and everyone.
Whoa.
Okolie is the truth. I said it. For me,
Ooh.
I wouldn't, but I mean, go ahead.
I
okay,
don't know about
for
that
me.
shit, but I like it.
Now he has had the chance to prove that. Now he has a chance. He has time. The thing about Errol Spence is chance to prove that he is elite. Is really elite. To prove it, is over.
It is actually.
Yeah,
He's,
I
he's
agree with
damaged.
you,
He's
Leo.
dam-
And it goes back
he's
to what I
damaged.
said. It goes
We're,
back basically
if
to what
you're
I said.
he don't want
Has
no
Errol
parts.
Battle,
has
if
Errol,
you're
has, from the time Errol Spence turned pro to now, he's 31 years old. Has he gotten better every fight?
no,
No.
it's not only that. He's damaged goods.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
not
he's
like
done.
we are
Done.
not figuring
Done.
out if Battle is right. Maybe you are right,
Once he
Battle.
flipped that
Maybe it
car,
goes
his
to
career
Jordan
was
Sugas
over.
if it's the channel.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes to Crawford if it's the channel. We are not gonna know. But now it's over
He's
because
not a prime
even if
athlete no
Crawford,
more.
look,
Damage. And
see,
people
Not a
get it
prime athlete no more.
mistaken sometimes. Not all champions, world title holders, are necessarily by default elite.
Mm,
We seen
mm.
we seen a lot of champions. Was Charles Martin elite?
Well, another thing to
Is
take
any
into consider,
Shit.
another thing to take into
is no disrespect,
consideration,
but is Jamal Charlo elite?
another thing to take into
and
There's
consideration
a lot
too
of
is
non-elite champ holders. Was Caleb Plant elite?
another
No.
thing to
Yeah.
take into
Yeah,
consideration too is Spence's lifestyle. He's not living the life like Bud is. He's not living clean. He's doing a lot of wrong stuff outside the ring that is hurting and affecting him big time. It's before he even, flipped the car. He was already
Look,
doing that.
speaking to the elitism, right, of the conversation, you have an alcoholic, injury-prone fighter whose retina got detached whilst wearing headgear. Does he sound elite to you?
Yeah, I know, right?
Does he sound elite like
And-
Andre
and-
Ward?
guys, this is
That's
what the
okay.
Crawford
Like
versus
Errol
Spence
wants
fight
to make
is
his
about.
money. Errol wants to make his money and have his horses. Bud
Can I
Crawford.
quote Errol Spence? Can
Yeah.
I quote Errol Spence? He said, "I'm here for a good time, not a long
Not for a
time."
Yeah.
long time.
And fighters like Bud, fighters like Canelo, fighters like Usyk, they worry about their legacy when they're retired men and they show up to the fights and get that ovation from the crowd. That's in the back of their mind when they go into the ring. So they want to get better. They make their
Yeah,
money, but they know when it's time to come back for that old tip of the cap at a 10 count and the fight, you're ringside watching the new crop of fighters, the fans are going to love you. And they fight for that. And you see it in how they prepare. You see it in how they go into the ring and the lifestyle they live. And Errol's
Listen,
not
Errol is
built
the
like that.
vanilla
And that's
ice
okay.
of welterweights. Errol's the vanilla ice of welterweights.
Yeah,
Man, this
look,
stuff,
look.
this type of talk
Well,
You
is kind
called
of crazy.
Julius. You wrong, Julius.
Guys,
This is started. This started to an
He's
echo
a
chamber.
flash. Errol. I mean, I
Nah,
call
but
him
I'm saying, like,
Battle.
what do we sit around in the barbershop and say? We do conjecture on who's the greatest, who would have beat who. That's what sports fans do.
Errol
So that's
gets
where all the
beat by
conversations
any
go to.
ATG. Errol gets beat by any
No,
ATG
Jules,
welterweight.
what does Obakar I Corte do to Errol?
They just
Come
like
on.
they eat him alive.
They destroyed
Alive.
his whole genetic fucking code.
All right? Like, look,
Errol don't last 7 rounds with Felix Trinidad. Come on, man.
listen. And I'm look, all right.
Why
I
are
know-
we going
wait,
to these conversations, bro?
Battle.
That
listen,
kind of that proves a lot.
Battle. This is an intervention. This is an Errol meeting. We trying to intervene. We trying to help
Man
you,
down,
Battle.
man down.
Trying to help you, Battle. You gotta let him go. You gotta let him go.
Nah,
Your man
you
is
plan
down.
you
Your
you
man
plan
is down.
you,
Your man's
yeah
down.
yeah
He's
we
down.
hear you. You got to repeat yourself.
He's down.
But
He's down.
like
He's
down.
but like I
He's
said though, Ring, like I see where this is going. Like you tried a lot to troll. I see this. I can see it. you try to present me as a big Errol Spence fan when you know I'm not. Like you act like you all of a sudden you got hit.
Battle. Listen, Battle. I care about you, bro. You gotta let him go.
Ring, man. You
Battle,
act
come
like
on,
you.
Battle, please.
Yeah, Battle.
Please.
It's a
Focus
lost
on
cause.
Ennis,
Errol
Battle.
Spence
Focus on
is a
Ennis.
lost cause.
Focus on Ennis.
Battle, there's gonna be other welterweights. Battle, he's just one welterweight.
I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the other welterweights right now. I'm
There's
not
other
paying
fish in the sea. Battle, like you gotta let him go.
bring this has got to stop. This is
Let
going
him,
on for
let him stay with, let him
this has
stay
got
with
to
Guys,
him.
stop.
Let
This
this
has
is
gone
the
on long
problem.
enough.
This
Like
this is the problem with
I'm not that
Battle.
type of fan
Come on.
Battle.
Spence fan.
This is the problem with Errol Spence now. Crawford, in 2 years, he might get caught
Yeah.
by someone. Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis. We don't know. But when that happens, we are gonna give everyone he fought full credit because
Yeah.
Crawford was the real deal. If someone beats Errol Spence now, we can give him full credit.
Yeah.
Crawford
That's
versus
true.
Errol Spence is dead because of that.
We're
The
gonna say
only
like Denny Green. He is who we thought he was. A hype
Yeah.
job, like all the PBC guys.
Yeah.
yeah,
That 30 for 30,
no,
that
and
30 for 30 on PBC is gonna be fucking Emmy Award winning because they all didn't live up to their expectations. They were going to change the
What if
game
he
with free boxing on TV, and none of them ever changed the game.
None of them.
Point
what
blank,
if he
period.
kept fighting?
You honestly, but look, let me put it another way, right? It's very, and I could be wrong because I'm not God, but it's very hard for me to imagine Errol Spence fighting for more than 2 more fights. And I'm like that. That's what my gut tells me. Like that.
Yeah, of course, I'm on the same page. But like I said, like, what if he kept fighting?
Well, if he
Would you
did,
say the
if he
same thing?
did, no, of course not. If he kept fighting, of course not. Like that, but that's like if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. What are we
No, 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 no,
talking
no, no, no,
about,
no.
yo? Like,
I didn't say he had to be the world
Right,
beater. I'm
right
just
now,
saying.
is Errol
uh,
Spence a Hall of Fame fighter right now?
no, come
No,
on.
no, no. Here's my
You
thing.
know
I
who
didn't
Errol
say.
Spence is? Errol is the American Terry Turbo. He's Terry Flanagan. That's who he is. Terry Flanagan.
Man, listen.
Except
I ain't
Terry's
never
more
said.
likable.
I never said if he beat world beaters. I just said what if he just kept fighting.
Against who though? Like you're saying that what he just kept fighting, like ham and egg guys? Like
It,
what are
it,
we talking about?
it's more so the fact that he's injury prone that we just ain't going to give the guy who beats him much credit because of the fact that he was injury prone. He
Well,
got
he's
into a
not
car
injury prone
accident.
until the accident, though.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
caused the
so being
accident.
injury prone is self inflicted. He wasn't injury
Yeah.
prone before the accident.
Who cares why it happened? It happened
But
now.
you
He's
can't add
injury
that
prone. So
caveat. He was
Because
perfectly healthy when he was only fighting once a year, getting these
why?
paydays.
all right, now
why
Battle, this is the other thing. What hasn't been said yet. I believe that a lot of us are, I know that I am. I'm angry at Errol, right?
Of course, me
Because
too.
I thought he was gonna be better than that. And now all I see is, yo, you fucked it up, bro. You fucked it up. The whole division, everything that we was looking, you fucked it up. So I don't got time for you. Feel me? You gotta let him go, Battle.
Man, get out of here, man.
I let him
The
go.
Get out of
the
here.
Let him go,
was
Battle. Let him go.
they threw all that hype on Arrow because he did that monster number after the Olympics, and they thought he was
Battle.
going to be this crossover star, and it never happened.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. Ring.
You deserve
I don't want to
you
hear.
deserve a welterweight that loves you. Crawford loves you. Errol
Yeah,
don't love you.
that's my guy. So I'm cool with that. That's my guy.
It's say it like that, B.
Yeah, what? That's my guy. What you mean? I like
That
Crawford.
shit. It was a twang at the end. Like I'm taking that. Twang at the end. Let me read the super chat. It's like 3 super chats. Even before the injuries, I agree with this. Even before the injuries, I felt Bud beats Errol easier than people think. He's flat-footed, and I've always seen Bud countering him easily. That's from Jaime Nieto.
Yo,
Mark
Jaime,
says,
me too.
Mark says,
Morning,
good
Mark.
morning and God bless. Jaime Nieto says, Errol gets hit way too much, and I could see Bud stopping him. I've been saying that for a million years, bro. Million.
Me too.
Hold
And
on,
Ring.
hold on, wait. I got another one. Jaime Nieto says, Errol always talking like a weirdo, avoids questions about Bud, tells reporters he don't know why he at his fight, and walks out of Bud's fight. Yo, that
It's mad
behavior
weird.
is
Yeah.
intolerable. Gets Hands says, Spence is just the welterweight version of Jamal. You know what? I can't even say that because Jamal isn't as injury prone.
That's the only difference.
That's the only difference.
That's it.
Jaimes, shout out to Lady Chan. He says, "Talk that talk, Lady Chan." And look, we just want Battle to have a welterweight that loves him. That's all we
Shut
want.
it, Ring. Oh my God.
You
He
deserve
did.
better,
He
bro.
don't quit, man.
You deserve better, bro.
He's spinning these narratives like, oh my God. Like he like
Bro,
Beans off Even Stevens when we be spinning them plates over and over. Like Beans, stop it. Like it's enough.
I've said that many times that and it's not just limited to Errol. I've said that if you took yesterday's Oscar De La Hoya and yesterday's Felix Trinidad, Obakar, Ike Cordy, Shane Mosley, yo, these guys will run through this welterweight division.
Ring.
They'll
At
run through
the
this
end of
thing.
the day, you spin me right.
Right. Like, yo, I ain't mad at that. Look,
Right, you
Aaron,
spinning these
Look at
narratives.
this
all
one.
right, Aaron Baker says Errol is dead accurate. Spence can beat Crawford simply based on activity. Crawford is just a more accurate and deadly version.
Danny Garcia.
Let me
How
calm down.
Invite
Aaron-
him into the panel. Invite him
Aaron,
into the panel to
nah,
explain himself.
dog, look, no, because I'm gonna keep it. No, because I'm
Look
gonna
at
keep
you.
it. Listen,
Look at
wait,
you.
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Oh my God.
Any guy that compares Danny Garcia to
fucking
Terrence
Crawford.
Crawford,
See, you can make all the jokes. You can make all the drunk jokes you want. You can make all the 2015. I was 15 years
He
old.
trolling.
But once you say anything about Crawford, oh no, we gotta stop the panel. We gotta.
It ain't. It's because look. Who is more flat-footed and slow hands, slow feet,
I can answer
slow
that.
reaction
I can
time?
answer that.
Who?
You spin me.
Yo, listen, man. Anyway, on that note,
baby.
I'm fucking sleepy. I'm gonna go to sleep, Lady
Yeah.
Chan. Battle.
Thank you,
Hey,
Jay.
Country.
Jules,
Have a good
produce
night,
those
everybody.
pay-per-view receipts,
It's been
okay?
real.
Produce those pay-per-view receipts.
I'm gonna keep producing them.
That guy
That's
went
how-
crazy on Twitter. I got the year
because-
subscription.
Yeah, yo, dog, why you posting your annual shit? Show me that you bought the fight, bro. That's all I want to
I
see.
saw that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you bought the fight, then show me you bought the fight. If you didn't buy the fight, stop talking about pay-per-views, please. All right.
Well, other than that, I'm gonna watch
Thanks,
that.
Jay.
Yeah,
All right, this
I,
show is
um,
brought to you by Levi's and Joe Goosen.
Night, everybody.
Always a pleasure.